welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
happen this year, but...
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by Hoots. I said we were going live.
What are you talking about?
He missed the memo.
It was all over the intro. This is the EST Hangout presented by Hoots. Matt Iwanyk, Damon Bunting from Remax Elite, as well as Dean Belanger of the Nasty Club. Boys, welcome. Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
That's a good start.
How do you just sit silent? That doesn't make sense to me. That's hard to do.
It's 20 seconds of just silence.
That's hard to do. That's a challenge. Sorry.
Well, yes.
Thanks for not yelling
we're
at
live
us,
on
teacher.
iHeart, tune in at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, as well as on YouTube. How are you boys doing this morning?
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's nice that we're getting some rain in I guess. Get it right before the series begins for the Oilers, and the moss pit doesn't get rained out and all of that. So good weather
right.
for us right now.
Good timing.
Perfect timing. Golf course is going to be in great shape after this, I would hope. And
Give me a day. Give me 7 more. We need rain like crazy. So
yeah. Except as we were saying with Murray yesterday, it needs to be like overnight. After
I agree.
Well, that's the perfect, right?
Yeah, overnight you wake up, it's fresh.
Oh, that
it's
smell.
sunny.
Yeah.
Get a coffee outside while you you smell that freshness in the air and that little crisp in the air. Can't do better than that.
No, you can't. And then, of course, you wash your car the day before.
oh yeah.
And then you go out. You don't have to wash it again because there's no rain.
Exactly. That's the way things should be done. Dean is a nasty clubber. He's with us. Your number is
15.
It's 15. That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah. I requested 15. I said to you, if it's 1, I want 1, but if it's not, I want 15 because that's been my hockey number for years. So
And it just happened to actually work that way that you got 15. I didn't give that to you.
really?
Yes.
Oh.
I legitimately went through it and like no one got special treatment with
Oh,
that.
I didn't know
It
that.
went through the entire order. So yeah, you got 15 because you got
Nice.
15.
Oh, I thought you were just being a nice guy.
No, that doesn't happen. Let's not confuse things here. Let's not put that out there in the public.
Yeah. Do not make assumptions. All right. I should have learned that by now.
Yeah, no, 15. You legitimately got 15.
That's sweet.
So
Why 15 for your hockey number?
Honestly, I don't know. My dad one day, like I said, I want to play hockey, and he said, okay, and then he said, ask for 15. I have no idea why. Yeah, it's just always have.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
do you have a favorite number?
33.
Goalie?
Patty Waugh?
No, I played football.
Oh, fair.
So it was easier to...
Yeah.
That was like a running back number, but I used to like 34, Bo Jackson, greatest athlete to ever live.
100%.
And then 33 was it's just a great number. It looks nice. It's clean on a jersey. So
It really is.
it is. It looks good.
Yeah, I was a Raiders fan for a long time until they finally broke my spirit. And,
What broke your spirit?
well, we all talk about the decade of darkness in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Raiders said, hold my beer, right? And then they had a senile owner who thought he was the GM who just, 4 drafts they completely washed?
Well, he just went and he took who had the best 40 time.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing was just who's the fastest 40? Want him.
That's
Yeah.
Wait, you're not talking Dallas right now, are you?
No.
Raiders. Is that senile owner?
Oh, yeah, that's coming
like,
too, and I'm all here for it.
It's kind of, I'm okay seeing Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Go down the tubes there, but yeah, I was with you with Raiders, and then so I actually changed over to a new team, the Jaguars. But when Bo Jackson had to retire from his injury, same thing. I was like, I realized I just followed the player, not the team. Right? So I was like, I don't know if I love the Raiders, and they were easy to. Like they were tough and whatever, but so I'm like, I'm not jumping on a bandwagon. Jacksonville's coming on as an expansion. I'm adopting them as a team. So
Okay, I love the teams that you cheer for because I'm like on the opposite side.
yeah,
I'm Yankees, I'm Lakers, Ravens, I guess kind of there. Manchester United, like Duke basketball and stuff.
Yeah.
And you've got the Sacramento Kings and you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like that's a bravo to you for jumping on and sticking with those teams and not having real success.
well,
Honestly, if you liked the Cowboys, you and I would be complete and utter enemies all the time in sports.
So Red Sox fan?
No,
Oh.
I'm small market guy. Like
Okay.
I'm small market guy, and I'm patriotic guy. So I love a bunch of Toronto teams, but the Leafs are one of the teams I hate the most. Which, whatever. But I love Raptors. I love, the Jays, although the Jays are trash.
They're not Canada's team.
Whatever.
I fight for that. They're not Canada's team. We had the
right.
Grizzlies. We had the Expos.
That's right.
It's professional sports.
Yeah, I grew up an Expos fan too. I was an Expos fan before I was a Jays fan. But like, you love all the teams that I despise. You should be a Cowboys fan.
No,
I don't know how you missed
I'm a
that.
Ravens fan.
Yeah,
the defense.
because they were good at the time when you were young.
Well, yeah, like every team I cheer for basically won a title when I was in the ages of 8 to 10, in that range.
Did
And
you
I've
ever
stuck
read-
with them.
Did you ever read the book I gave you? The Ravens
Actually,
book?
is that from you?
Yeah, that was for me.
Yeah, because Lutz gave it to me, and I forgot who gave it. Actually didn't finish it.
Yeah.
I got
It's a good
to.
book.
Yes, that was. He's a great writer. I forgot who it was.
And I
He
can't
wrote about the Ravens of the early 2000s. Like he followed the team all year, and yeah, I gotta actually fully get into it. I haven't even watched the 30 for 30 they created on those Ravens teams. I'm behind on watching stuff about my team.
Yeah, there was one on Ray Lewis. I saw that one, and it's how you excited, Derrick Henry?
Yes, I think so. The running back situation of the Ravens over the last number of years has just been injuries. Wherever they've brought in injured, J.K. Dobbins hasn't played well. He's been healthy the last couple of years, so now he's in Chargers. So I think that there's a player there. They wanted him for the deadline last year and couldn't get it done.
Right.
I think he really changed that team because now they have a legit power back who could go up the middle, and you have the threat of Lamar running,
Right.
and then Lamar's passing. So I'm actually just more worried about the defense because they've lost a few guys this offseason defensively. So we'll see if they can bounce back from that.
If I'm them, I use him as red zone guy. And
Derrick Henry?
Yeah, and Lamar has to stop taking hits, right? And
Well, that opens up to me like a QB fake handoff, take
Yeah.
it.
yeah, a lot of play
If you're in the
action.
3,
Yeah.
you give that to it's an option almost. Like if you like what you're seeing, you give that to Derrick Henry, he could go forward, or you just pull that back and you quickly run. And how do you stop that when you have that power coming down the middle or the speed to go on the edges?
Like, he was a unicorn. His speed it's not there anymore. He runs like a injured linebacker, right? But from 10 yards in, you're not going to stop him.
No, and watching him, my brother's a big Titans fan, so he followed Warren Moon from the Eskimos to the Oilers, Houston, and so we have a bit of a rivalry. Not as much as we used to because the teams have been bad for a few years, but watching Henry, he's still he has a bit of speed when he opens up for the size, right? But you're right, he was unstoppable before.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be great for the offense. So
I'm sad about the running back dying in the NFL. They don't last long. For me growing up, it was
a glamour position.
It was Jamal Lewis with the Ravens going up against Jerome Bettis of the Steelers and those type of power backs. Sean Alexander with the Seahawks for a few years there.
Right.
To me, that's good football. I love watching that football. And I know it's not the sexy football and
and
it's
I
the
go
passing game and
I'm older than you, right? So I grew up Barry Sanders and all those guys, right? And there were just great running backs on the best teams, and it was a glamour position, and it has been neutered, which sucks.
I don't think I've asked you last time you were here. Were you a speed back or were you a power back?
Everything. No,
You had the speed and the power.
Actually, I was on track. I did have speed,
Yeah.
but I would normally run to contact.
Really?
Yeah.
You just wanted to try to go through someone.
Loved it. Yeah. And it was
How did that go for you?
usually pretty good.
Yeah?
Number of concussions later though. But I was youngest of 4 boys and you had contact every day pretty much, right? So it was
that makes
just
sense.
Yeah, it was one of those things I just loved. Even in practice, it's different now, but you'd take runs at guys' earhole blocks and take tallies and we're like, oh, you got me. And then it's different, right? So I don't know, if I was in high school now, I don't think I would probably play like that because you were just coached different.
I didn't play football. I was way too small, and I loved the sport, but I would have just got killed. But watching my 2 nephews grow up through St. Albert, and my youngest nephew, I saw him play against Chuba.
Oh, yeah?
Holy, like I've never seen a kid dominate a sport in my life like that. Like I guess it would have been like watching Gretzky or McDavid as kids playing hockey, right? Like I never saw a kid like that before. It was just like, wow. I didn't like, no one thought he would go to the NFL because that's just too grandiose a thing, right? But it was insane.
Everybody in Sherwood Park knew he would go.
Really?
Oh, he was talk of the town.
Yeah.
Well, you
really.
root for the guy, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. It's a stretch.
I was excited he went to college.
Yeah.
And then he did well in college. I never would have thought.
No.
Like that was
Well, good for him. And well, Jay Milne would be all about it because he was a Bev Facey Falcon.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. So Jay
I didn't know
will-
Jay was a Falcon.
Oh, yeah. See, because he won't admit it. He's embarrassed.
What are
No.
you?
I'm a Sabre, Sal Comp.
Okay.
Yeah.
You-
didn't grow up here.
okay. Well, where are you? What was the school?
I went to Murdoch McKay in Transcona. If you know, you know.
Transcona. I've been
Transcona.
there.
Yeah, you know. Then you know.
I do know.
Yeah, Winnipeggers like to make fun of people from Transcona. So.
AOB Crusader. We didn't have a good football
It'll
program.
be good kickers, though.
Did we?
Because there was a few soccer players on the team.
Okay. I just know when I remember working at 1260, they actually won a couple cities. So they actually got
Oh,
really
yeah.
good at one point. I don't know where they are now, but go Crusaders.
There you go.
And then somebody I used to work with over there, he played against Chuba. And he said, like, it was just, how do you
No one
deal
could
with this
touch
guy?
him.
How do you
It
stop
wasn't
this
fair.
kid? Like, it was,
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, you used to run for contact. He didn't have to.
Oh,
he
no.
could have run backwards. Like it was just heads and tails above everyone else. It was nuts.
I wonder if we ever see him in the CFL. Because like the running back game is in the NFL shorter now, right? Like you could always
Right.
get younger and cheaper. Is there a point where teams aren't going to take a shot at Chuba? He's maybe, let's say, 31, 32 at that time. Do you come up to Canada and try to play for your hometown team?
I don't think health wise it makes any sense. I remember thinking that with Jesse Palmer, but he was way too pretty, right? So he just like immediately is like, no,
he's the Bachelor.
I'm going to
Yeah,
make
right.
like 1,000 times more in TV, and now he's on the Food Network. Like, okay.
That's right. He does have the show on the Food Network.
Some baking show or random garbage, but I mean, yeah, like you would love to see it, but I doubt it. He's going to take so many knocks. I think he'll be health wise. It would make sense.
It'd be great to see, though.
It would be.
Well, the story behind it would be something else. And like, if you feel
You'd sell
like
tickets.
you could sell tickets, but also for him, hey, I still want to play football. You just have that competitive edge. Why not do it at home for 2-3 years?
Yeah, it'd
Right.
be amazing if he landed in Edmonton, and then if Winnipeg still had their Winnipeg born running back. That would be a really cool thing for the CFL. But I don't know.
That'd be fun.
You just
would
have Brady Oliveira. Yeah, just that Canadian.
Yeah.
He's not bad.
He's done okay.
Yeah, take what you can get, hey?
Yeah.
So
he's
Transcona. So funny, for the Heritage Classic out there. So my brothers and a few guys, we traveled out there and actually hung out with Huss there too, because we worked together. So it was a fun trip. But my brother got an Airbnb in Transcona. Yeah, so
okay.
but he got a good
Mistake
deal,
number
and we're
one.
like, hey,
well,
good
of course
deal.
he did.
Yeah.
Were there chains on the door? Like you needed.
Actually, it wasn't bad.
Okay.
We didn't know what we were getting into.
It
and
wasn't bad.
It was
That's
kind
the
of-
key there.
Well,
Not it was a great time. It was
Yeah,
very lovely.
yeah. It'd be
It
like-
wasn't bad.
So for the people watching who don't know, it'd be like getting an Airbnb in like Northeast Edmonton.
Hey, that's where I grew up. Don't take shots at my home.
Well, it's true though.
Well, but Transcona has a ring to it, right?
Yeah.
But we showed up. It was a nice little bungalow. I think there was 6 of us guys. It was fine. And then you meet up with some friends who live there, and they're like, "So where are you staying?" Transcona. They're like, "What? Why?" I was like, "Why not?"
Yeah.
And everyone we talked to, and even us, is like, "Transcona, really?" So anyways, it was funny. We were going into the second game, and we just happened to talk to some fans. Like the Winnipeg Jets fans are great because a lot of them adopted the Oilers, right?
Yeah.
So we had some fun banter, but we were just chatting with some guys out front, and they're like, "So where are you guys staying?" Transcona. They all start laughing. They're like, "We have a buddy from Transcona." We're like, "Really?" And no word of a lie, while they're talking, this guy's walking by, and they're like, "And there he is." So they bring him over, and we're like, "Okay, so that is," and they're like, "See, this is Transcona right here." So,
Yeah.
anyways, but you know what? We actually had a good experience. Not
He's
a bad,
updated. He's updated now.
Not a bad experience.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah. Sorry, I wasn't expecting to hear that.
That
town.
Heritage Classic was amazing. It was really, really great time. I've been to 4 of them, luckily, and I think that was the best one for me. Just the weather was off the charts good. Like they delayed the game because of it was too warm. You know, so much different than the first one, right?
Which ones did you go to? 03?
The 2 here,
Winnipeg?
Winnipeg and Regina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've been to the 2 here in Edmonton. This last one was nice. Like weather was
It was.
perfect.
It was
I
Weather
think
was
for the
really
event.
good.
Yeah.
That was when you look at Commonwealth and you realize
It's
too
crumbling.
well. It's not big. Like
Yeah.
everything are like the bathrooms, all that. Well, it was designed for 40,000 people.
Right.
When you have more than 40,000, just the capabilities are limited with that place, and how bad it can be. And big events are great, but also, well, we need to do something with Commonwealth.
I was talking recently, and I can't remember who about this. I went to the first one. I've been to a couple Grey Cups there, and then I went to the last one. I don't remember the infrastructure being a problem at the other events. Maybe it was, but you could not get around.
So the issue with the Heritage Classic this time is they put the concession for merch at the north and the south end, where you have to walk around.
Right.
So there was a huge lineup for people to go to the concession.
that's right.
But then, so to walk around those people, you had to get congested.
That
And then
pinch
also,
point was
it's also
horrible.
like, especially the north side, because I tried doing a full lap and you couldn't. The north side, it's very narrow to get down to like by CW's bar or something, and then it opens up, but it's just super narrow.
Yeah.
So everyone has to cram in, and then it just builds a log jam, and it's happening on the other side. And then the south side is just way too small for any sort of concession type thing for that. So they've screwed that up big time.
Okay. Yeah, because we tried to do a walk around. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
I
got
was
there
told I had to go
really
back
early,
around.
and it was just terrible. And sorry, what's the side that has the tarps up?
Like on the seats?
Yeah,
The north side?
that's the north side. Sorry.
Yeah.
The crowds were walking against each other.
Yeah.
And it was yeah. By the time I got through there, I was just like, I need to go sit down. Like I was ready to lose it. Yeah.
Yeah. Commonwealth's just not.
Yeah.
I think there was issues. Who was it? Luke Combs? Was he the one that was in town with the big show last summer at the Commonwealth? I think he was. And there was again issues of bathrooms and all that stuff. It's not because when it was built, it wasn't built with all those north side seats, right? It had grass and all of that. So it was only built for
true.
40,000. And so when they expanded it and got more seats, they didn't do anything with the bathrooms or anything like that. Smart planning.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to Pink in August. That should be interesting.
You are?
Yeah.
Those tickets were pricey.
Very. Yeah. But she's amazing. And I haven't seen her before. My wife has. So it's going to be incredible. But like, I can't wait to see. There will be a lot of females at that show, right?
Yep.
The female bathroom lines are going to be absurd,
That's true.
right? Because that's what happened. Like, my niece went to Katy Perry or any of those kind of female artists play Rogers. The female lines for the bathroom are nuts. And then, you know, they're running in the guys, and like, that's not a problem. If it was reversed, there'd be a bit of a problem. But you don't see guys running into the women's bathroom.
I left halftime WNBA to go to a concession, and it was the women's had the long lineup.
Yeah. How was that?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful time. It was good basketball. It was great to be able to see Creo Nurse in person, Cameron Brink in person. That league is just going to start taking off. Like, it's going to be a wonderful league to start following with all the young players coming into it.
Yeah.
So it's.
I was gonna go if they kept to the date of Sunday,
Yeah.
and then I couldn't. There was a fundraising function I had to go Saturday, so couldn't go to the game. So I was
And
getting.
then you didn't have to
updates.
move it in the end.
Exactly.
Right? Like, it was because it was for game 7, the Oilers bumped it up to the Saturday. And yeah, it's a shame because there was probably a lot of people like you. Now, it was sold out. That's what they announced and all that. So I'm sure that they got a lot of that. But there's probably quite a bit of people that went, I bought this for the Sunday.
Right.
You moved it to the Saturday. Well, I can't go at 7:30 at night on a Saturday. I was able to go at 5 o'clock on the Sunday, though.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I mean, to avoid a game 7, I'm not complaining either. So just finish them off early, right?
Well, Toilet should have had more confidence and not moved it and just scheduled both on the Sunday.
Exactly.
And said, screw it. You know something? We feel good enough in our team that
Staples can do it. We can do it.
we'll deal with it at 5. We'll deal with it on
Sorry.
Friday if it goes.
Crypto can do it.
Yes, please. Let's be correct
It's
to
always
the
Staples.
corporate overlords of all of our
Always
facilities.
Staples. Yeah. Name an arena, do it first. Don't do it second.
See, but it's just Staples is just another corporation.
Yeah, I know.
Who
but
cares?
It's Staples.
It's called the Forum, even though it's not the Forum.
Yeah, true.
That's right.
This is the EST Angle presented by Two Hoots Hard Seltzer, or not Hard Seltzer, that was White Claw. Two Hoots Hard Iced Tea, a Boulder Real Brew Tea. Don't give a hoot, give two. Matt Iwanyk, Dean Belanger, Damon Bunting with us here. That's their slogan for that, and it makes me very happy to read that one. I'm not gonna lie. You guys want to get into a little Oilers talk?
Sure.
I'm shocked we haven't already.
That's the best part. Is sometimes we could delay. Well, the Oilers haven't played since last Wednesday.
Yeah.
There's like only so much you could fully dissect. How are you guys feeling going against the Canucks?
I think the win, but I think people are underestimating the size and the speed of Vancouver.
Thank you.
But I think honestly, going to the first round, my only question mark was Skinner, and he answered that. So I have to believe he'll do it again. If he does, and that power play keeps going the way it's going, I don't know how you beat the Oilers. The other thing for me, and like I've been watching hockey for 40 plus years, teams don't generally miss the playoffs and then come back the next year and make the playoffs and go on a long run. There's those, like Holland always talks about it, those lessons, right? You need those painful losses. Oilers have had those. They're a wagon right now. I don't know if Vancouver has enough to beat them.
Yeah, Oilers in 6. It's a different team, but I think, after our 1-0 win, that gave me so much more confidence in the playoffs. We actually can play that game now.
Yeah.
Which I never had faith in that. But Vancouver's definitely a different challenge. Oh, you Vancouver Canucks fans, stop talking. That have come out of the woodwork. I have some friends who've been diehard Canucks fans for a number of years.
Are they coming at you, or are they?
A bit. They were coming at me all early season when we weren't playing well. And then right before Christmas, when they're just like, whoa, we're first in the league in points at Christmas. So actually, we talked about that in-season tournament banner that was raised for the Lakers. So I had a meme, and I just sent it to them all. It's like, really? Like, if you're going to celebrate that, celebrate this like Lakers fans, right? Going up
No one
against
else
the
has that
dynasty.
banner.
That's true.
29 other teams don't have it.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But no, it'll be a great series, I would say. But yeah, I say we have it in 6. And yes, they're fast, they're big, but we are too, right? It's going to be a different game. I think we can adapt. Skinner, Desharnais, they're not rookies anymore making those mistakes like last year.
Yeah.
Even Bush.
They learned their lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Skinner is one of
confident.
those guys that plays a little bit better last year. They probably go win the Stanley Cup. That was the big issue.
Yeah,
Right.
He is playing a little bit better now, right?
Absolutely.
It was his first year, unfortunately. It was just bad timing. That happens in sports, right? And it wasn't just the 1-0 game. It was the 1 goal against in 2 road games in LA. It's like,
Right.
that's lofty, right? That's really good. So let's not talk about that Lakers banner
Why not?
because you and I'll start yelling and
What's the issue with the banner?
I don't. I'm conflicted.
Basketball to Raptors, right?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
conflicted with it because I'm a new convert to English soccer.
Thank you.
So
There
I
you go. Who's
hated
your
it my
team?
whole life, right?
Do you have a team?
Well, I'm starting to, but like I'm not a premier guy. I'm following because of Wrexham,
Okay, cool.
right? So that's brought me in it.
Mm-hmm.
Completely, my friends laugh at me. Oh, it's garbage football. Yeah, I know it is, but
Wrexham?
yeah,
They're they're going to be 3rd level in England?
yeah,
That's some pretty good football.
yeah. But they were anyhow. Let's not go down the rabbit hole. So I'm all about the in-season. I think the NHL should do it too. Like
Yes.
I really like it. I like some of that element, but I'm just really unhappy that it was the Lakers that won it.
This is the only team that deserves to win it. Like
because-
it's sort of this,
because
the
of this.
history of the Lakers
Exactly.
is winning. Like you go look at the numbers and names that are retired in the banner of
Yes.
crypto. There's not a lot of greats that aren't up there.
No.
MJ's not there.
They are-
Larry Bird's
they are-
not there. But pretty much everyone else is up
They're
there.
an
The
impeccable
stars come to the
franchise.
Lakers.
I get it.
We win titles.
Yeah.
And it was only right that the
Or they
first
come
one.
and they don't. Stars come and they don't win.
Yeah. The only issue,
Which star has come to the Lakers and hasn't won?
There's a
Going forward, LeBron.
He just won.
Doesn't matter.
But he's got the one
tarnishing
ring.
his legacy. He's
No.
going to keep playing.
He's got
he
the
has all
one
these
ring.
stats, points, made shots. You know,
Be
he
careful,
also
the big man will come flying through the door.
it doesn't matter.
We got the LeBron picture over there.
He leads the league in, or it was in history. I saw some stats and turnovers. You don't hear about that.
Yeah, because he's played 21 years.
That's why he has so many points. Thank you. You proved my point.
Wow. Woody,
well, but
wow.
he's also
he just
like.
hammered you there.
Let's go through the average like points per season. Average
And how
is
many
probably
shots
still
he's
ridiculous.
heaved. And okay, so here.
Hey, look, I don't want to be. I'm not Dusty. I'm not like the
this is
biggest
what I
LeBron
mean.
guy. I'm a Laker guy.
All I'm saying is this: the last few games, and Dusty will even admit, he'll like wave off some of the teams he wants the shot, and he's bricked more than not in the playoffs towards the end of the season, and I love it.
According to Dusty, with the stats, because I don't look up these stats, he has the best percentage or something of clutch shots in the.
Not anymore.
I have no idea then.
That's what I mean. It's like move on. We were talking Wemby, the new guard, and
Yes.
there's so much
But
talent.
LeBron's still got like 3-4 years left in him, and he'll bring a title to the Lakers. One more.
I don't know that he will.
You gonna put something on that?
Can we wait till the summer?
Wow.
Let me see
that,
what-
See, that
Like
is a
here-
confident. That's the confident Lakers fan speaking.
No, it's the lack of confidence I have in Rob Pelinka to build a team around LeBron.
You
and
can't
AD.
build a team around LeBron.
Yes, you
He
can.
has
They
too
did it
much
once.
say. Once.
A couple years ago.
No.
He's got the title the year Kobe passed. It was a very meaningful title for
So
Lakers
how
fans.
many- how
so
many-
I just need to see I need to see who the coach is. Because
Yeah.
Darvin Ham was trash, even though Rip City Steps saying he's the greatest coach in the in-season tournament history, which is true.
Right.
But Ham was trash. And I just need to see what other players they could put around this team.
And it's
'Cause it's close.
So if LeBron does not have a say in a coach, in player personnel, I think you may have a shot. But a GM will never be able to have that autonomy to choose the roster without or in having LeBron on the team.
I will say this.
That is a fact.
Also, to the idea of putting something on it, I need to first see if LeBron stays with the Lakers.
Yeah, see, that is a true fan right there.
Is his son
Of
getting-
what? Of LeBron?
A confident fan. You said they're
I'm a fan of the Lakers. So I need, if LeBron's not there, they're not winning a title the next few years.
they could.
They won't. Who are you replacing LeBron with?
Is his kid going to get drafted? Is he good enough to get drafted?
No.
No. So he'll
The
sign
answer
as a free agent.
the answer to is no, because like he had his health issue to start the year, and he didn't produce at USC. He probably should go back to school for another 2 years.
But he declared,
wouldn't
right?
hurt.
But he can't.
But you could always
Yeah,
declare, and you
right.
don't have to go into the draft.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they've declared, see what interest there is. If they're not seeing good interest, him undeclaring whatever and going back to USC or transferring to another school.
Right.
I could see that potentially, but he won't be an undrafted free agent. He'll be drafted because someone will think we can get LeBron
Exactly.
if we draft.
That's right.
So that's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. You draft him. He's your Trojan horse to get LeBron to come to your program, right?
But apparently, according to LeBron's camp, that's not a thing anymore for LeBron. Doesn't need to play with his
Come
son.
on.
He's flip flopping like he does
I
on the
don't
court.
believe that crap.
We should go back to hockey.
Well, I'm just surprised we've talked now like LeBron for 7 minutes or whatever. You've taken multiple shots at him, and Dusty hasn't run in yet.
I know. I'm like waiting for this to happen. He's
You're
not paying
sitting right
attention.
there.
He's still eating the donuts I brought. This is good because we've never met, but I didn't realize that we were going to be able to gang up on Maddie like this. So this is fun. Nice.
Hey, there's nothing like. Again, you guys got a nice combined one title together. I've watched 6 Lakers titles in my life, and an in season. So 7 championships. So I'm good.
Who's got the worst?
I'm good.
Who's got the worst name that they took from another city? The Lakers or the Jazz?
Jazz.
They're both in the conversation.
Oh, Lakers is awful.
Yeah.
It is a terrible
It's
name.
a great name
when
for Minneapolis.
absolutely. It works so like it's now just the history of it, so it works in a sense. But no, it's a terrible name.
Yes.
Not a lot of lakes
How
in
did
Los
that
Angeles.
even come to be? I don't even know.
The
They were
Lakers?
the Minneapolis Lakers.
They moved from
Oh
Minneapolis.
yeah, right.
Yeah. And so a lot of lakes in Minnesota and all that. So
Yeah.
why change the name when you're in LA?
I believe it's 10,000.
The
on
Jazz,
not?
plate.
just in Utah, I don't think you're going to find a lot of jazz bars.
No.
That's my guess.
yeah. Never been. Maybe there is.
Which is why I really hope their hockey team name is messed up. Because their soccer team name, they've stolen the European model with Real Salt Lake. Because naturally,
Right.
Americans
Well,
love all of
at
that.
least they're not FC.
Oh,
Because every team is FC.
yeah,
which
but now
drives me nuts.
people are trying to be Real, which is it doesn't really. You're not Real Madrid, okay? Let's be real here. You're not European
So
soccer.
you love Inter Miami then?
It's like well, I just love how the MLS is just like we're gonna try to make this
Yeah.
like England and like Europe. Like no, just be North America.
That's right.
I agree with that.
So you have the Jazz, you have Real Salt Lake. Give me Utah hockey team.
Oh, HC.
Just give me hockey. Just give me something weird.
Yeah.
Follow in
Yeah.
line with the rest of your teams.
Honestly, I wish Washington would have stayed football team.
100. I wish the Elks would have.
Yeah.
The Edmonton Football Club, that it was known for the 1 year or whatever. I don't mind it.
Why not?
I agree.
I always said it was an arrogance to me too, to be the football. We don't need another name. We're the football club.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like them saying the Ohio State University. Like,
Long term, that probably would have went over better in this city. I think there's a lot of like elk hate from older people, right?
oh yeah, that's there.
Yeah.
But in the end, like also, the name doesn't really matter. The Lakers could switch their name tomorrow, and I'll still be a fan of the team.
Just win.
Just win.
And just bring fans with good game day. And that's what people really want, right?
Rookie camp opening up tomorrow for the Elks.
What?
Right? Yeah. CFL season's here.
Holy.
We're already there.
That's crazy.
Next Saturday, May 18th, it's Fan Day at Clark. Myself and Jay Milne will be live with EST there, I think noon to about 2. We'll be there
great.
Fan Day. So Jay and I are going to be doing the Green and Gold pre and post game shows here on
Fun.
Edmonton Sports Talk this year. Before and after every Elks game, we will talk about it. And him and I are already on the wrong side of the quarterbacking situation. So
Really?
he doesn't think Trey Ford's going to be a player.
I'm on your side on this one.
What do you see from Trey Ford?
If he doesn't get an opportunity. I mean, so there's so many quarterbacks that, like a Justin Fields, he's going to be a great example of can you build a system around those capabilities? Did our football team work with his abilities? So I think it comes down to, what you have, the pieces in place, the coaching. I don't know if we can build around them. And I do think the shelf life for those type of quarterbacks is so short, right? So
That's true.
it is, if we lose while he's growing into his own, is there going to be that patience as a fan base? Because there's a lot of heat on the team right now, top to bottom.
But the funny part, for me at least, being in this spot, is I feel like there would have been patience for Trey Ford. I feel like there's a lot of people that's got the excitement, that he got a casual fans excited again.
Right.
And they could have sat there and went, okay, there's a young guy here that could be the star of this team. Obviously, you have to still win football games. You can't go 4
Right.
wins again next year. But if they go 7 wins, but with Trey Ford, I think the fans would have been more patient with that, because it's, hey, look, we've got this young prospect we're developing. With McLeod Bethel Thompson, you could only win now. There is no leeway here.
Right.
With MBT, you have to win, and if you don't, bigger problems, I should say.
Right.
So last year, me and some buddies went to Toronto, watched the Jays game. Then the next day went to Hamilton, watched the Bombers play. Hamilton lost, unfortunately. So we went back to the Verbo after, and we, a bunch of 50-year-old guys, so we're not going to go out and party, whatever. So we were sitting around flicking, and the Elks game is on. We sat and watched it. None of us Elk fans, because we wanted to watch Trey Ford.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a game. I think it was that one where he did that crazy scramble and then chucked a touchdown. I want to say it was against Calgary, but I could be wrong.
Well, Calgary, the Labor Day first Labor Day game, he had this crazy run.
Yeah.
And was it all a run, or did he throw it in the end? I think he ran it all, but he covered 100 yards.
Anyhow, Dusty was on the call, and Dusty can make checkers sound fun.
It's always a chess fan here.
My point of this whole thing is we were not invested at all in the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think a couple of my buddies watch a lot of out of market CFL, but not everybody does. And we all watched, and we were all saying like, Edmonton has got something in this guy. Like he's special, and he's Canadian, right? That I don't know. I've built exactly 0 successful franchises, so
Yeah.
you know I'm not an expert on these things, but I didn't understand the move. I'm in your camp with this.
But I think you could have also saved money, got a better O-line, improved in other spots.
Give him
with
more
Trey Ford.
weapons.
Give him more
I-
weapons. But when you go with MBT, you've given him so much money, you can't make those moves. They did nothing on the O-line this offseason. And I'm stunned by that.
I've seen what MBT brings. It's vanilla. At best, it's vanilla.
Yeah. And I don't think anyone's sitting here saying the Elks are now the top team in the West with MBT.
Right.
No,
That's the problem I have. Like, if you brought in Nathan Rourke, and I'm taking the Canadian part of that out, you brought that, you'd sit there and be like, okay, all of a sudden you're elevated.
Whoever
you are a
signed-
team in the West that can now challenge Winnipeg and BC. That makes sense.
wherever Rourke
MBT, I don't see
decides
that.
to play,
Yeah.
he is going to change the landscape of the CFL. It will be like when Flutie came, when Rourke comes back, and I'm sure it'll be with the Lions.
I think you have to. They're the one that gave you the start.
Yeah,
Unless the
I-
Lions are saying we're good, which I don't think they would.
Well, he's from there as well.
I don't
Like,
know if
come
they would
on.
want to, whether they're in the position or not. But yeah, he's
He changes. He's so good. The only reason the Bombers beat BC that year is because he got hurt.
Yeah.
He's that good.
It won me a fantasy title that year
Yeah.
because everyone else had
Yeah.
BC lines. I had no BC lines, and they all collapsed after that injury, and I got elevated. You're in Dusty's fantasy league.
I'm not. No.
No, you weren't? Okay.
No.
Good. So then I don't have to make fun of you for that one.
No, but I
I
do
built
want to
3 successful fantasy
Yeah,
football
I
victories.
do want to
I'll just
start
say
with
that
because you
one.
sent me
Three of them.
you sent me all the stuff, and I do want to.
Oh, that's
start
right.
With, yeah,
That's
but
what
I
I
haven't.
sent
I
it to
haven't
you.
dug into that yet. I have time, so I guess I should get on that.
Why? My league's going to be drafting June 3rd, I think. So
That's coming up quick.
I know. I got to talk to Lucas of Whale and the Wolf to figure out where he wants to do this. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, less than 4 weeks away.
wow, that's coming up quick.
It's going to be very quick. That season will be here, but then my quest, I'm the gold miners.
That's got to
So,
be a hard
that's-
draft,
I got you on that time.
Sacramento.
I got you on the Sacramento for that.
Boy,
right? It's got to be like that. The problem with CFL is you really don't know.
Every year it changes so much.
Yeah, like who's the star week 4? You know, you don't even know who they are
So-
in preseason.
Trey Ford would have been a high pick in our league, but now that he's the backup, he won't be. Brady Olivier is the top pick for our league because you also have a Canadian position.
Canadian,
So you need the Canadian. So he'll be the top one. Unless Scott McCord from the Bears screws that up and doesn't take him, and then I get him at number 2, which I think he might actually do. Scott's known for taking, he's drafted players that are actually on NFL rosters or not
Scott's a
signed.
beauty.
Scott has screwed up so many times in these leagues.
is it like a dynasty you're keeping?
No,
league?
it's all fresh, But like we were drafting,
Just in case.
There one time, like in like the 4th round, early too, it'd be like Reggie Beggleton, and we all just sit there like he's with the Packers right now, dude. But Reggie Beggleton,
I'm not wavering.
Oh boy, oh boy.
yeah, Eric still hasn't won, so he's been hurt. It just hasn't worked for him. But yeah, no, I'm excited for the CFL season. It's always great. And then the Lakers are going to go win a title next year. It's just that simple.
Wow,
I won't go that far.
It's going to be a great and back to the Oilers, they'll win a cup too. It's going to be great.
And I go that this is going to be a very tough series.
It will be.
And I know I've also gone. I don't make predictions anymore, and I'm standing by that one. So I will, Jen. I'm not making a prediction on this series.
Apparently, you are going to be told in the staff meeting that you have to make a prediction.
And I
And,
will.
then, and there was the chat was
Yes.
all lit up this morning that
Yeah.
you would just walk out and quit.
No, I won't quit. That's the worst thing you could do. It would be fire me, let me go.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm good. Here's all my stuff. Have fun planning the golf tournament and then the
Yeah.
ESTs
Yeah.
and all this stuff. See you guys later.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Have fun.
I'll go enjoy life.
Every month.
I'll come
that-
for a coffee with you every day for the next few
That
weeks.
sounds good. Every month that EST survives another month and your tentacles just get deeper and deeper into it to the point where Dusty's gonna be like, I think I'm in charge, but I'm probably not.
I don't know, like when they have the issues tech wise, okay, have fun. Good luck. Enjoy. So that meeting, Dusty could say what he wants with that, but my prediction will be the series will go 4 to 7 games.
That is so.
It is a
weak.
prediction.
It is a prediction.
I mean,
Did you play sports growing up?
A little bit, yeah.
Were you a quote unquote shift disturber as a
No,
no?
I am
Your
not one of those.
personality screams.
No, I'm not one of those.
That you would be like,
No, I was always more like even in school, goody two shoe and stuff.
no,
Yeah,
really?
100%.
Wow. You seem so obstinate
Nope.
with everything.
Throughout that, schooling and all that, I was very square, very
so it's all
quiet.
been pent up.
It must be. And now I'm just letting it
like-
release in all these different ways that I haven't
That's
done it as a
right.
kid. But yeah, no, I wasn't. When I would play, I wouldn't be in the refs here or anything like that. And I'm very quiet. I'm very mute.
So I was always the smallest kid, so I was all attitude, right?
Were ya?
Oh yeah, and yeah, I would always play like a little jerk,
Trash talker?
trash
You?
talker. Oh yeah.
A little
A
bit.
little bit? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
As your face lights up,
Please remember some of that.
I remember ear holding a guy.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes you play guys often and you just create rivalries from different schools, right? Mm-hmm. And but and sometimes that's a good one. And you got to give credit where it's due too, right? If
Yeah.
someone chirps and it's like,
You got
done,
me.
well done, sir.
Yeah.
Right. And it's fun. It's a bit of a game, but I think that is part of the game a little bit. Right. But yeah,
My brother was the one that he would do that.
Yeah.
He was always the guy. I was always very proud of him when he'd be beaking and stuff and he'd go at it and things.
yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. I like when others do it.
And it's always good when you have people around you to back you up.
Yeah.
Right?
That's always
Like-
important.
Oh, yep, they're here. Okay, I'm going to say this. It's like the big old linemen are there, or, the bigger guys. Like, you got me.
They can defend you. They'll help
right.
you out in those situations.
Yeah. And, and the key to success there when you have them on side is like, I actually never got rookied or anything. And I remember like in juniors on the first road trip, I bought probably like 30, 40 burgers, like from McDonald's. I'm like, here, boys, the hogs as they'd call themselves. And it's like, I got you. So they kind of look out for you when you look out for them, right?
It's the high school version of when the quarterback getting the massive cars for their offensive linemen.
Exactly.
You do the high school version. Here's a bunch of burgers, boys.
Smart.
I can't afford getting you cars, but here you go. Protect me.
That's right.
That's the way to do it. Yeah. No,
So you got the Oilers in 6 then?
I'm not gonna make those predictions. And I'm not going into the full reason again today, but I stopped doing it at 12:60, and then we started here. I remember I made a prediction. I'm like, this breaks my rule that I've applied to
Right.
myself, so I'm gonna stick with it, I guess, for a little bit. But now I'm at a point where it's like, no,
So
I
did
got to
you-
go back to it. The only time I will make my predictions, I guess, is if I'm ever back to my role of Mr. Lean with my betting and stuff. That obviously is a prediction in some
Yeah.
way, but
Or Big Brother?
I didn't finish Sundays yet, so
I don't watch that, so no, I just know you do.
I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love
You
it.
love Big Brother?
Oh, I've seen every episode or every season of Canada and the U.S. So there's been 20 some seasons of the U.S.
That's time
We're
you'll
on
never
season-
get back.
I don't need it back. It was very enjoyable for
Just
me. I loved every
mind-numbing
moment
dribble.
of it.
Wow.
There's competition into it. It's got sports. It's got competitiveness.
No,
it's got
it's-
cattiness.
no.
It's got yelling. It's got drama. It's great.
So when you watch reality shows,
Yes.
do you picture yourself in there saying, this is what I would do? Like, this
No,
is
I'd
how I
picture-
would say, this is how I would handle this
wouldn't
person.
No, I don't do that, but I do feel like I would do well on Big Brother.
Yeah.
Like I do watch it, and like if somebody makes a mistake at the passing a puck or something, it's like you can't do that. If someone's making a bad gameplay move, I'll sit and like, no, that's a mistake. That's bad. Like,
Right.
you're screwing this up. I do think I would either be knocked out first in Big Brother,
Yeah.
the first week, or I'd get to jury minimum.
And knocked out, you mean leave, not punched out? Because I could see both.
Well, not the punched out. That'd be a little too soon. No, actually, surprisingly enough, that show hasn't had a lot of physical altercations over the years.
They must.
Although in year 2, somebody did pull a knife on someone.
Oh.
So now they don't have actual real knives anymore. They have like those plastic ones.
Oh,
and they really
right.
struggle cutting because they had to
What
deal
a
with
world,
that.
eh?
Yeah, well, wasn't it 2-3 years ago one of the girls was bleeding at the mouth? Oh yeah,
I remember
like
that one.
they had to hold her back, and I don't know if she bit her lip or whatever. But my wife loves Big Brother, and then I'm like, fine, I'll just watch. I'll work, have the laptop, and now I'm a bit more intrigued than I
See,
was.
you're getting into it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'm
sucks
into it, but I can still multitask.
U.S. or Canada? Or both?
Not Canada, just U.S.
Oh, get your wife into Canada.
Really?
It's better.
I'm thinking don't.
I think I saw the first. I was like, that's a bit. I'm sure it's improved. I like the
U.S. is way, or it has used to be really good, and then now its production controls it too much, and it's
Right.
It's there's not as much. I think last season was actually really good, but there's too many seasons that just kind of lose it.
Yeah.
Canada's way better. A lot more drama. A lot more
Interesting.
sloppy play. Way better. Stand by that one. Anybody who loves Big Brother will, I think, agree with me in the Nasty Chat.
I bet you
Really?
Joelle and Jen are enjoying the Big Brother talk.
Are they Big Brother
I
fans?
thought they were.
I know Jasmine is. And Northside Sandwich also keeps messaging me to talk Big Brother.
Really?
So there's a couple of those. Dusty used to watch it. I don't think he's watched this season.
I don't know how Dusty would have time.
To watch Big Brother?
Yeah.
Because it's like you could just throw that on and have it on while you're doing something else.
Yeah, it's brainless TV.
Yes.
Really, right?
Yeah, it's cotton
Which is why you can multitask.
When they get to their competitions, you just need to see who won it in the end. Some of them, they don't really matter. So you could definitely, like, that's where you could dive into work a little bit more. It's just the conversations, like, yeah, it's just all in the background. Or you tune in.
No, thank
and
you.
you see what's going on.
I
think next year I'm going to have to do a Believe Brother podcast.
You
Weekly
should.
recap.
I think I was gonna say
I'll tune in.
I don't believe I've ever watched any reality TV. But then when I say that, I'm like, okay, but I remember watching the UFC show, Ultimate Fighter, or whatever.
Oh,
So I
yeah,
guess
right.
that kind of is. And I think there was a hockey wives one or something that my wife watched, but like it's just garbage.
I think everyone needs a little bit of garbage in their life.
Yeah,
That's
You
what
need to
wrestling
be
is
able to.
for.
Okay, well, you need that cut away from whatever's going on, whatever.
to make you feel better about yourself.
Well, I wasn't going to
So
go
I'm
there.
like,
I think
I'm
just sometimes
watching-
they just shut the
come
brain
on.
off.
Most of it is like a train wreck when
Yeah.
you're watching it, like
Yeah.
Housewives or whatever. You're just
Yeah.
like, wow, okay, I'm good. I had a bad day, but I think I'm good. But I mean, so Survivor, when that first came out years ago,
Yeah,
that
Richard
was
whining.
yeah, it was a phenomenon. We're just like, what is this reality TV? So we'd probably have at times 20, 30 people watching an episode at each other's homes. And I think it was Global came. They're like, what is going on here? So they actually came on site to a house and they were trying to figure it all out. And actually that first year, the Palladium downtown, the pool hall, I rented that out and we had the finale party. And it was packed because everyone's like, what is this, right? So it's quite interesting. And there's been some duds for seasons, but I've tuned in there. Survivor, I'm like, I would love to be on that show.
Yeah. How far would you go?
I would be confident I could go a fair ways. Well, mind you, I'm out of shape and my knees are bad, but at the same time, I like where...
But it's not all about the athleticism.
It's not.
That's same with Big Brother. There's the social game that matters.
Big Brother, I think it would grate on me more than being on Survivor, I think, as a contestant.
Well, we used to work with someone that actually did the show. And I remember asking him about it. And he goes, it messes with your mind when you're in the same house. You can't leave for 70 days.
Yeah.
Because he went really far too. And it's like, you get out and the world is messed up to you because of
I could
what happens
imagine.
inside that house. You're just with the same people. There's nothing else, same rooms. That's it.
Yeah.
So that
I
one's
think
a mess up.
it's like, I would say I'm relational, but that's where you have to flip a switch. It's like, am I here for the game, right? And am I going to mess with people? And sometimes it's kind of fun, because usually the best thing to do is you just kind of start a fire and let other people just.
That's the worst thing you could do.
Not in that game.
Which one, Big Brother?
You just like Big Brother or
You do not
Survivor.
want to start fires in
No,
Big
no.
Brother. Oh, you're saying a real fire?
No.
Okay, we're talking. Okay.
No, it's like, and even in everyday life, like for example, if I would watch my kids' sports games, I don't want to be that guy that's gonna be the loud guy in beaking. So if you just sit by one of the parents who would, it's like, man, that ref, you see him call that, he shouldn't. Then he starts beaking the ref. I'm like, this is great.
Wow.
So that's
Someone's here for
You're
the
puppet
chaos.
master right here.
That's what I mean by Survivor.
Hey.
Just it's like, okay, who's going to be that person that's going to take the heat, right? And Big Brother,
I
the
see what
same
you're saying,
thing.
man.
But I would have a bit of a problem. Like, I don't think I could get away from people. It's just too tight quarters. So that to me would make sense, what he's saying. I'd struggle with that, I think.
See, and the starting of the fires, I see where you went with that. Because actually, the one girl who got kicked out last week, she started way too many fires, but she did it very sloppily. Whereas I understand yours is more just dropping the breadcrumbs and letting someone else think that they came up with an idea. And then they run with it, but let them puppet master there. You're just controlling everything. That's the best in Big Brother.
Yeah. So
those are the ones that go win.
That's right. So
As long as you don't get
go to
caught.
the end, and then someone's going to say, "Well, I did this." No, actually, remember when I planted the seed? Yeah, that was me.
Oh, this guy would be great
and you
on Big
just
Brother.
like take him at the knees in the end.
I'll take
right?
your word for it.
So
He's got the mind for it. I could already tell.
He's got the devil, like he's the devilish smile.
And he won't get
right?
knocked out week 1.
I would not want to be.
No, because the thing about week 1 is usually they look for like the quote the nerd.
Yeah.
That's where I would struggle. Like, I think they could look at me and be like, this guy's too small, nerdy, all of that. Yeah, he's not going to be able. So I would be on the chopping block. It's me or the old guy.
Yeah.
That's the decision there. And so if I could
So
get
if you
past
can
week
get
1,
past,
if I could get
then-
past week 1, then I could work the relationships and I could get to where I think I
Then
get
you
the
can
jury.
you can draw
I don't
people
think
in,
I would.
yeah.
I don't think people would turn on me once they slowly got to know me a little bit. But week 1, they didn't get to know me, and I could easily see them. Yeah, you're gone. But then I could get the jury.
Honestly,
And then the fear I have in jury once you get into the jury time is the double evictions. I think I'd get caught in a double eviction.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd get caught in a week. I think a double eviction, somebody would try to get rid of me. Yes, I have thought about this.
You could bluff week 1 as long as you don't show up in all whites.
It's not that.
You'd be good.
It's not. Well, hey, the all white was a good look. I had white shorts and white shirt on at Hockey Helps the Homeless on Friday
See, Matt,
Nice.
with my
White
Jordans.
sneaks.
I thought he was
Yeah.
going boating. I'm like, what's going on
It was
here?
great. I love the all white
Little
type thing.
Nautica, hey?
No, like, but it's just like right away you don't have time. Like immediately, you'd see guys who are fit and all of that. You're not touching them. You don't go after the girls usually. They go after the old people and the nerds.
Well, you and I'd be in trouble then.
Yes,
Yeah.
Damon would be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I would hope so. I wouldn't
then
want
the
that
game
as a
begins.
badge. And then yeah,
I feel bad for the person who leaves week 1 all the time.
I know.
Because you've never really had a shot. You were just screwed.
Like, would you rather be the first out or the second or third? Because nobody really remembers the second or third. So do you want to be remembered for like utter failure?
No, I'd rather be out second or third.
Yeah,
Because then I could say at least I wasn't first.
that's true.
You could walk away and always be like, at least I wasn't the first
That's
one. Gone.
right.
I wasn't the worst.
It could have been worse.
Could have been worse. We should all apply. I'm just gonna say, if Big Brother
Not
Canada
a
next year,
chance.
the 3 of us on it, we'll have a pre-existing alliance. We all go our separate ways, build our own groups, but this is the alliance.
So
here.
wipe this
final 3.
wipe this episode. So
Yeah,
nobody sees
That's
this
the problem.
pre-alliance.
None of it. You're now from Winnipeg, wherever you are.
Transcona.
Transcona. You're from Sherwood Park. I'm from Edmonton, so different cities. There's no way there's going to be a connection between the 3 of us.
No.
And we go run that house. You just got to protect us week 1 because we're the ones on the chopping block.
Well, I'd have to go Grecian or just for men and the beard. Try to.
Look younger.
Yeah, look a little younger.
Dazzler saying 780-218-9999. No spoilers. Hopefully, I'm not giving any. Big Brother Canada way better.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So like, I would recommend giving Big Brother Canada the shot.
So I was impatient. I maybe watched the first because it was novel. I was like, wow, Canada. I was like, woo, that's not good. Like Amazing
yes.
Race.
No, I know. Well, actually, the first Big Brother Canada had a big controversy at the end.
Did it?
It was so how they award the winner is there's the 2 finalists, and then the jury comes and selects who they want to win, and they put the key in the thing and say this person wants to win. Well, this one person thought it was who you don't want to win, so they put their friend's name in there, or like the other person's name in there, and it was a 1-vote victory.
I don't remember that.
And
Wow.
she cost her friend the win because she voted the wrong way. And like afterwards, she's like, that's what we were voting for. And she like tried to like stop, like, oh, I wanted this other one. Like, no, you can't. You put the key in. Like, this is how it is.
And that's why you're not in the finals.
Yeah.
That's why you're sitting there in jury. So yeah, no, I would say maybe season 2 it started picking up on. At the very 3 on, I think we're on 12 now.
Wow.
There's been a lot of really good seasons. They're better Canada than the U.S. And we don't get to say that a lot for things.
We don't. Okay.
So-
I'm really, really happy I brought this up.
You should be.
Yeah.
yeah,
See,
look what you started.
Yeah.
Usually I bring up Big Brother and people are like, oh, we can't talk about it, and I'll stop. But you went there, and then he's
Planted the
watched
seed.
it.
Exactly. See? You may not be first out.
Maybe I would be okay on that show.
This made my day now. Not gonna lie, I was very excited. I didn't think I'd be able to talk some Big Brother today. I started watching a little bit yesterday, so this is great. Oh, Northside Sandwich. They put so much emphasis on it every time they do the final vote. Yeah, they do that now. They like make it like you're voting for who you want to win. And like Arissa Cox, the host, is like very clear, like that's what you are doing here, people.
Wow.
So that they don't have that
So
issue
does that
ever
say
again.
more about listening skills or just overall intelligence?
Both.
Okay.
And maybe being under pressure with the nation watching you. That's another thing, right? Like, there's a lot of layers to that.
You're being recorded 24/7.
Yeah. And that's where it can mess with you.
I guess.
Your brain's completely fried afterwards. This is the EST Hangout presented by Two Hoots. Matt Iwanyk, Dean Belanger, number 15, Nasty Club member, and Damon Bunting, Remax Elite Rams fan. Iwanyk, Elks did a lot on the O-line. Go look at the transactions. There's going to be some competition. Yeah, they've brought in a bunch of no-name offensive linemen.
That always works well.
Well, and that's like, yeah, there might be a player or two that might be something, but it's all fingers crossed. I was looking at wanting the Elks to bring in a legitimate CFL proven player to improve the line. Your Bombers, what set them off on this run?
Canadian linebackers.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was
O-line.
it was bringing Stanley Bryan in from Calgary.
Yeah.
He went. They put him on the blind side. They built an O-line.
Yeah.
Starting with him, they poached him, and then the Bombers had massive success. And the Elks offensive line for the last number of years, just to me, it hasn't been good enough. And you're running it back.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe they found the player in one of these press releases the last few weeks that's going to step up. But that to me is just too much of a risk for a year where you need to win now. There was a lot of offensive linemen out there to go get. All the Bombers offensive linemen were free agents this year.
Yeah.
And you guys lost one of them, Neufeld, I think it was, to Saskatchewan.
Yes. I believe so.
You could have made those moves, and that's
You need to build in the trenches. Like, your
yes.
line is...
both sides.
Yeah,
You win
absolutely.
one line, you have a shot at being really good. You win both lines, you're going to have a shot at being elite. Like, that's just football. And it doesn't matter if you're talking NFL or CFL. You
Right.
win the lines. You can disrupt the best quarterback, the best running game with great defense, right? Your Ravens. That's what their hallmark was. Yeah. It's like building a hockey team. If you spend too much money on your third line wings and your fourth line, you're going to be in trouble. Football, for me, I would load up everything. Outside of quarterback, I'd load up everything on those lines.
I also think that those teams that don't have quarterbacks, you don't get a quarterback yet until you have an offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
You load up, you build your offensive line, you put some known. Mark Sanchez went to the AFC Championship game back-to-back years. They had a good defense, and they had a good run game and O-line. That's how Mark Sanchez got to those two AFC Championship games.
Right.
That's the way you do
How
that.
sad is it for him that as soon as you said his name, I thought butt fumble? Like, immediately. Like, just
It's like
poor
being
guy.
it's like being eliminated first in Big Brother. You know,
That is...
you're going to be remembered for something.
And
Yeah.
it all circles back
Yeah.
to Big Brother.
Okay, we'll stop
It's that
loop,
morning.
But oh, damn, I just lost my train of thought when you said Mark Sanchez. Anyhow, doesn't matter.
Well, the fact that like you don't need the star quarterback right off the bat
Oh yeah,
to get
that's what I was
better.
gonna say.
Trent Dilfer.
Yeah,
Yes.
the
It doesn't matter,
The
right?
Bombers didn't make Kolaros an elite quarterback. He was a talented elite guy. They had a line to protect him.
Yes. The
they
issue
kept him
Kolaros
up.
had was health.
Right, and they
And
kept him upright.
they've kept him healthy.
Yeah, and when they
Give them time.
5th round pick to get him or something like that, it was just wonderful. So the last, even I know the Bombers lost the last 2 Grey Cups. I went to the last one; it was amazing. The last,
Like this past year's one?
yeah, the last 4 years have just been incredible.
The last 3 years have had great Grey Cup games just in general. And I can't wait till this year in Vancouver
true.
because it's going to be a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
it was. I always avoided going to the Grey Cup because if the Bombers lost, I thought I'd be miserable, and it would be like a waste of money and a waste of time. And that's why I didn't go when they won in Calgary. So this past year, Matt knows this. I got let go of my job. I got packaged out, and that was like on a Monday, and the Grey Cup was the following weekend. And I said to my wife, I go, well, I got time. Can I go? And she's like, go. And so I went to the Grey Cup. It actually made it easier being there for a loss because all the Montreal fans around me lost their mind. And they had so much fun. And I got to know a couple of them. And I was watching like some young kids. And I was just like, I'm not angry. I was kind of surprised by that. Like,
You're too kind-hearted. I would look at those people and just
Honestly,
be like
dude.
pissed off and like, hey, you guys go celebrate it. Like I'd just be mad, even more mad that I'm around people that are celebrating and happy.
20 or 30 years ago, I would have been, but as you get a little bit older, you kind of get softer.
You do?
Yeah, you do. Well, I did. But it really,
I get angrier. Sorry.
That's because you're setting fires.
yeah, I really did. Like, it was incredible to watch these young kids, and I'm like, that's the future of the CFL.
Absolutely. That's
Right.
I'd celebrate young kids excited about CFL
I went
right now.
ended up going to 2 games in Hamilton last year. I went to 5 Bomber games last year, only 1 in Edmonton. So I traveled around to see them quite a bit last year. We went to Hamilton. After the game, they let all the families run down on the field. And I'm watching all these kids run around and they're throwing footballs, and the TSN people that were doing the game, and they were like, encouraging. And it was just like, wow, the CFL might have some hope, like for me. Because like, if you go to an Elks game, it's just all old people, right?
The tailgate's changing that a little
Yeah.
bit. There's a lot of younger people in the tailgates, Elks Herd, Scout, and Catherine. They're younger. They've got a great tailgate spot. You walk around, there's a lot of younger people there, and it's becoming a little bit of you got to be at the tailgate before you get to the game. And that's kind of slowly filtering. Hopefully that keeps building and more young people start getting there. And then the kids could run on the field afterwards.
Right.
So
That's big. I mean, that like Stingers does it,
Yeah,
looking
Stingers
at your
is an
shirt.
amazing
like,
atmosphere.
they've done such a good job where, you have these little kids, and I mean, it doesn't matter if it's CEBL or NBA, like to them, they're like, I'm watching this athlete. And those guys are typically big dudes, right? So little kids like, wow.
Yeah.
They get the autograph. And then some of these kids a few years ago get Xavier Moon's autograph. He comes back in town. They bring it to show them. And they're like, I watch this guy play in the bigs, right? Like it's pretty cool. But like, I remember doing that as like the Eskimos games. We were on the field all the time. And even you look at the old celebrations for the Stanley Cups with the Oilers, like it was a party on the ice. Everybody's there. It's different now, right? You just can't do it in a lot of the leagues, which is too bad for a little kid. It's pretty cool, right? But
I remember being a kid in the Carnival of Champions. We'd
Yeah,
go
right.
to Northlands, and it was Oilers and Eskimos at the time, and you just go around and you seeing all the players, and you get their autographs or pictures or whatever, and it was amazing. Or then they'd come to the schools and stuff. I remember
Right.
Boris Mirnov came to my school when I was in like grade 4 or something.
Mirnov.
Boris Mirnov, yeah. It was great.
that's awesome.
It's funny you bring him up. People ask me, like, because I grew up in Winnipeg, how'd you become an Oilers fan? Because I hated the Oilers growing up, right? Like
Naturally.
1990,
I would too.
hated them.
Yeah.
And then, years later, I'm a huge fan and a season ticket holder. One of the guys was Boris Mirnov.
Yeah?
Because I moved here, he had already been traded here, right? He was part of the Manson deal, and and then they signed and they had a Senza, and it just kind of. I tried being a Hawks fan, didn't work for me. I tried being a Coyotes fan, didn't work for me, and I just became an Oilers fan. It was the weirdest thing, and so now it's always kind of troubling if they're playing each other. So I
You got the
avoided
two
that.
loves.
I avoided it this year, but yeah, it's weird. But yeah, Mirnov, he was a beauty.
Oh yeah.
Great
Igor
slapper.
Ulanov was the other one that.
And
that
he
just
was
loved.
another one.
was
I loved
great.
Who
Igor.
doesn't love Igor Ulanov?
Yeah, he was a great Jet.
Was he a Jet?
He started as a Jet. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was great. I loved Igor.
He was great for us too. Just it's like, yeah, I'll block that.
Just a special blue liners those guys were.
Yeah.
Kind of not made that way almost, it feels like, anymore.
It's tough to see.
Igor was something else. I was at the Alzheimer banquet a couple years ago, and we were lucky enough. Kevin Lowe sat at our table, so I got to sit right beside him. Wonderful guy, and we were talking about stuff, and I brought up Igor Ulanov, and I said the thing with Igor was He had 10 games a year where he was like an all-star, like the best defenseman in the league. He had 10 games where it's like, we need to send this guy to the AHL. Like, he's the worst player I've ever seen. And then the other 60 were kind of middling, right? And he stopped and looked at me. He goes, that is a perfect explanation of Igor Ulanov. Because he was, right? Like, he was just... But if you had him that on game, there was one playoff series where he was just on and he was trucking guys. And, oh, he was so good. But, yeah, Jets had a few of those Russian D-men. Sergei Boutin was another one they drafted. They didn't even have to. They drafted him in the first round. They could have signed him as a free agent. They did some weird stuff. But anyhow.
I love those sports conversations where we know better.
Exactly.
Long-term looking back. Reminder, we've got a VIP table to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, July 12th, which will feature Andrew Schultz and Shane Gillis. We're qualifying people through the next few weeks, giving that VIP table away later this month. We will have a qualifying opportunity. Today on the Hangout, you can get your tickets, greatoutdoorscomedyfestival.com. As I said, Andrew Schultz, Shane Gillis on the Friday. That's what we're giving away right now. Saturday, there's Kevin Hart, Bert Kreischer, and Whitney Cummings. They are on Sunday. VIP tickets completely sold to the Friday show, but tickets still available. GreatOutdoorsComedyFestival.com for all the other dates. And Alley Cat, the official beer of the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, which will feature the 6 o'clocker lager. Would you like some LeBron James stats?
No.
Is someone actually
Rip
bringing
City
those
Stat,
in?
who has sent, this was accurate 3 days ago, I believe. Game timer, go-ahead shots, fourth quarter OT, and NBA preseason. Final seconds, LeBron is just shy of 60%. Last 10 seconds, or final second, last 10 seconds, it's 42%. Last 30 seconds, 44%. Last minute, 49%. Last 2 minutes, 47%. Ranked first in field goals most of these categories. So
That's fantastic.
he's got a high percentage.
Over his career?
That's over his career.
Yeah.
And then most points per game when facing elimination. Minimum 5 games. LeBron is 34.1%. Or 34.1 points per game. Michael Jordan's 31.3. Kyrie Irving's 31.2. And Wilt's 31.1.
How
So
many,
almost
how
3
many
more
games
points.
are there?
13.
That is a good conversation. How
so
many
LeBron
times?
is 13-9, so that's 21 games. Jordan is 6-7, so he's got a losing record when facing elimination. So less games. But LeBron has like 3 points more per game average when facing elimination.
Hey, he's a great player. Second best all time. Maybe.
Second best all time?
Maybe.
I'll run some stats.
Second best all
There's
time?
a lot of stats. You know, it's like anything. It's like you can pull what you want. Like there's a good debate. We talked about it before.
Oh.
LeBron is amazing player, generational talent. I grew up watching MJ.
As did I.
And I would say, and we talked about this too before coming on, you know, Jordan would destroy today's league, in my opinion, humble opinion. LeBron would have to adapt his game, and I think he'd be great in the 80s, but you're not going to flop. You're going to get clotheslined. You're not going to be crying. But he would have been the player that could say, yeah, I can do this.
The mid-'80s
And he's-
Pistons?
Yeah.
Oh,
He would have turned.
they were filthy.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Like,
filthy.
if you give MJ the space that these guys have nowadays, like,
Yeah.
he would light this up. I do always defer to people that I didn't watch MJ really. Again, I remember MJ from Space Jam and
Yeah.
the Washington Wizards. That's my MJ
Yeah,
memories,
both
which
not great
sucks.
looks. Yeah.
Hey, do
great
not knock
looks.
Space Jam. That was a great movie. I'll still watch Space Jam.
Loved it.
But I still haven't seen Space Jam too. But it's-
Funny, I never did either. I'm like, who's the lead? Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
so yours is legitimately because it's LeBron.
Legit. Like I said,
I just
I'm
haven't
older,
watched it yet.
I get more angry. That's why.
I like it. But so I defer to what other people say, and most people say it's MJ, so I can't dispute it. The only thing I will say with LeBron James, and I'm wording this incorrectly, because Bruce Arthur from the Toronto Star, I remember having him on one time, and he brought up that at least with LeBron, you can't say he's not part of the conversation anymore.
Right.
And that in itself is an accomplishment.
Absolutely.
To say that you are part of said conversation is unbelievable. But to me, it is still probably MJ's the greatest of all time.
The world needs more Bruce Arthur. We don't see him enough anymore. He's so smart.
He is very intelligent. I always loved my conversations every Tuesday off air with him. I
Yeah.
get 5 minutes. We'd quickly talk about something, throw it on hold, and put him on with Tide and JMO.
I would have been late coming out of it every time. 100%.
No, the worst I ever had in a good way was Stephen Brunt.
Oh, he's in my list of like favorite authors of all time. Like,
And I was early in my radio career, and we had him on twice a week. And I legit, like, as soon as we go to commercial break, like usually you'd wait till like a minute left in commercial, call the guest so they don't have to wait on hold for long. I'd have to call him at the start of the commercial because he would just want to chat.
Oh, no
And there'd be
way.
times, and this was on Spec's show when I worked with Spec. Spec's back, we're playing the music, Spec's talking, and Brunt's telling me a story still. He's still talking. And I'm like trying to like get him off, like, this is wonderful for me. I'm hearing your story, but Spec's waiting for you. Like, we gotta go. Like, so I just call early so I could get that full conversation in. Still go a little long, and then I could throw him a whole.
Wow.
I loved Stephen Brunt.
his essays that he does for Sportsnet are so good. Like, he's brilliant. Brilliant.
He also had the career that I admire greatly in Canada because, like, he could do hockey, he could cover hockey, he was great at it.
But he's
But he
not a
saw
hockey
that
guy.
everyone else wanted to cover hockey, and he went, "That's cool. I'll go cover the heavyweight boxing fights. I will go cover Olympics. I will go cover World Cups. I'll cover everything else. You guys fight over the one sport. I'll do all this other stuff."
Wow.
And I just love that. I'd rather be going to a bunch of different things than
Right.
just focus purely on hockey, for me personally.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, I would say that takes a gift and a lot of talent to be able to cover multiple sports
And, he
and
has that.
understand it and know it. And
Well, and have the cred, right? To get in the scrum
Right.
and ask the right questions and not get like booed out. Like, hey, you're an outsider, get out of here, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's
actually, when you said that comes to mind because it goes back to Lakers at Tayshaun Prince when he was with Baylor. Did you see his response to a question? One of the reporters, and I don't know it word for word, but I saw a clip of it. It's so funny. He's like, "So, you were out rebounded. Like, how did you get out rebounded?" And he's like, "Well, you see, when the ball's in the air, you use your two hands to try to get the ball, and that's a rebound. So when the team does that more, they have more rebounds than you." And it was like silence. I was like, that is a great answer, right? Because it's just sometimes, I guess, as an athlete, you just get the same questions over again, and it's like, at some point, like, can we just break this? And it was so.
Or you're just in the mood. Or you're just in the mood that day. That's just
I
like,
don't want to talk to you. I'm supposed to come up. I don't want to be here.
I like those answers. I'm a big fan of those type of answers because you answered the question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you didn't answer my question, and
You didn't
it
go
didn't
on
go
a
the way I
tirade.
wanted to. But
I've been watching for so many years and like so long. And it's funny when you get to round 3 and 4 of the playoffs, NBA, NHL doesn't matter, right? And you listen to the questions that are being asked in the scrums, and you get to the point where it's just like, oh, don't ask that question. Like the person asking it is so clueless, and you're just like, oh, you're gonna get roasted. Don't do it, right? And I feel bad for the players. They're just trying to be so patient, and they're tired and sore. They just lost or whatever, right? And it's just like all they want to do is just drop an FU, but they can't, right? Like so they do that.
yeah,
well, they could.
they could.
They'll just get ripped and stuff for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
If you can be playful about it while you're proving a point and you can make people laugh, I'm like, that, good on you. Like, do it and put something in their place if needed, right?
Some do need it in sports.
Some do.
Some do. I've dealt with a few media people in other cities and stuff that they think they're as much part of the sport as the athletes are. And it's like, no, you're not. Like, bring it down a bit.
Yeah.
But there's many that just think that
There's a pecking order.
they're as big as stars as the players because they cover it.
The only person who would be bigger than the athletes is Huss.
What's it like working with Huss? What was it like?
Oh, he's a beauty. You knew what to expect. Like he was there and he just had his, I think I mentioned last time when he just had his liter of Coke for breakfast and, full of stories. Like we had a really fun environment and most everybody got along and so that's him, right? He's just happy-go-lucky, but man, like knows his stuff. But yeah, he was great. He was a ton of fun.
Well, he's so great that like I've met him once, and I feel like I know this guy.
Oh, that
pretty
sounds
close.
about
Like,
right.
He just through what we do here on air and stuff. He's just this fun guy. Did a couple lock shops with him a couple weeks ago, and it feels like we've hung out for years together, and we're
Yeah.
just doing a show together. But literally, we've only hung out once.
Well, and it was short-lived too, right? He didn't work with us. It was only a few months, I think.
It was only a few months.
Yeah. I don't know if the story
well, I know it was
is
about
like,
a year or so. I thought it like or
yeah, it
part
was
of a
like
year or
one
something.
season, like part of a season, I think. And then he got
And that's
a
with
job
the Oilers.
with
Just
the
for those that
Oilers,
don't know,
yeah.
that was with the Oilers.
Yeah. So then he went, I think he got a job with the Moose again in media in terms of what he was doing because they threw him in group sales, ticket sales. I don't think that is his passion, right?
No, but he could sell you something, I would say. I think if you pick up a
Absolutely.
phone and Huss is on the line trying to sell you something, he'd win you over pretty quick. And somehow I'm like, yeah, my security number is, you know.
Yeah.
Him and Dusty almost had me sport betting.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, why? Because I don't
You're
bet.
not- yeah.
So what? Full disclosure, I was only watching the lock shop during the giveaway, right, for the Vegas trip.
Thank you, because that means it
Well,
works.
that's why.
That's
exactly.
the point of that
100%.
concept.
That's right.
If somebody was listening to these shows that usually doesn't,
Case in point.
thank you.
But like I'm you start getting engaged on the YouTube chat board and it's like you're saying, oh, we won last night, and I'm like, should I get in on this? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. But they almost convinced me their passion for it, right? So
I will say, like, yeah, I don't ever want to convince someone to get into gambling. The way I do it and enjoy it, I like Dusty was laughing at me yesterday. I do very small amounts. I threw a $5 bet yesterday, and it was like a big one for me. Like I don't usually throw $5 down, so it's small.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. Yeah, and I was saying it earlier in the show. I put money on I actually parlayed it. The Nuggets to win their series against the Timberwolves, and then to win the NBA title. And then last night happened, and now they're out down 0-2, and I'm going, oh crap, there goes my $5 potentially.
Yeah.
is this the first time the Timberwolves have ever been a legit team in their existence?
When Garnett was there, what was the best they
came
ever did?
close.
Did they?
Like,
Yeah,
they had a
I'm trying to remember because I think they came in when I was still in Winnipeg. So yeah, they did, as a matter of fact. And I thought, well, am I going to like the Timberwolves? Not really. They were just, I forgot
they couldn't get over the hump.
But I don't know how far they ever went
Yeah,
with him.
they're one of those vanilla franchises that just have never.
Well, in 03-04, they got to the conference finals, losing to my Lakers.
There you go.
But
Yeah,
that was the year, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the year that Karl Malone and Gary Payton joined the Lakers, and they lost to the Pistons in the final. And then after that, they missed the playoffs for many years, made the playoffs for the first time after 04-05 and 17-18, missed again. Now they're last 3 years they've been in the playoffs. So yeah, this would have to be their best team ever. Maybe no, I guess that team that went to the final would as their best team
And that was
with Kevin Garnett as
and
MVP.
then- yeah, and then Garnett didn't last much longer after that.
No.
No,
He's
Well,
like,
true
we're
true
not,
NBA
we're not
fashion.
going, we're not going anywhere. I'm out.
was it 07? I think they won, or was it 08?
Well, it's not even.
08, he
It's
won
not
with the
even
Celtics.
that like we can't win here. It's like I'm worth more winning in Boston, right? That's the whole problem I've had with being an NBA fan. It's like, no, I want to be in LA. I want to be in New York. I want to be here. I want to be there, right? Like, I for a while I hated LeBron. I don't hate him anymore. For a while I hated him, and it was the Miami thing.
The decision,
The decision
turned a lot
thing
of people off.
made
Yeah,
me.
it was a
hate him.
spectacle.
I didn't
right?
like it either. And
No.
people
Yeah.
will say that, well, he raised money for kids. Yeah, that's cool. You could have raised money for kids, but not had a TV
Yeah,
special
it
that
was-
went 40 minutes where you'd be like, I'm taking my talents to South Beach.
Yeah.
Just sign.
And then the
Yeah.
immediate cutaway to people in Cleveland burning his jersey, and then cut back to him, and he's like, "Oh boy, I made a mistake here." But
I'll come back.
Well,
When
it
he
also then
went-
didn't help. Then he went, we're going to win not one title, or
Yeah.
2, 3, 4. And he,
Yeah.
like, that pissed people off too.
yeah, but anyhow,
Yeah.
when he went back to Cleveland, I'm like, okay, you made amends, good on you. He's done a ton of charity in where he grew up. Like all of that is amazing. And I was like, okay, I'm warmed up on him. And then he goes to the Lakers. I'm like, now I hate you again.
Why?
And now I just don't even care because
Why?
he's fading away. So
The Stars play in LA. They should always play in LA. Wait till Wemby's a Laker.
Especially, yeah,
How much
towards
time
the end
we
of
got?
their season, you just talk Peyton and Malone, and but
They
you
went
know
for the
what?
title.
But that being said, as a player, like to go play for an iconic team, like even to be, in a dressing room, see the banners, be a part of it, because even like if I go to any of these venues, I always look at the rafters, right? And you're like,
100%.
wow, like so to be a player to go play there, even a Boston
Yeah.
or heaven forbid,
Oh, Boston?
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, but the Oilers are kind of in that category a little
Sure.
bit.
Yeah.
Like they have one of the better hockey histories of success across the board. Like there's not a lot of franchise that more rings than them. They've only been around since '79. Like, so you got to take the original 6 out of it. You look at who the names are up in the rafters. You got 5 Stanley Cup banners. The Oilers actually, like, take the city part out of it. Like, it's not going to LA where you get to play in the city of LA or something.
Right.
But the franchise part of it, and the great logo, one of the best in North American sports, that's been voted on. Like, I remember a USA Today article having it like number 8 or something.
Yeah.
The Oilers actually are one of those franchises to a degree. Like that, and that's why I don't believe Connor or Leon would ever actually want to leave, because I think there's something special, but also winning in Edmonton. Gretzky and Mess won here.
Yeah.
You win here, then like you're part of that history.
Yeah.
I agree with you on Connor. I'm
That's a
not so
select
sure
club.
about Leon. We'll see about that one. I think his agent's going to have a lot to say about it.
But okay, it's say about what money? Because the Oilers aren't going to get outpriced. I will say that right now. The
Well,
Oilers
it
aren't
depends.
good.
Do you want them to stay and have a mediocre team, or do you want them to stay and have like a good chance at winning? Because if they don't both agree to whatever that number is,
But there's also a cap of how high that goes. And at some point, like, what is $1 million, $2 million going to be that big of a difference for the Oilers of winning or not?
if you have to pay Leon 13, 14, and you have to pay Connor 14, 15, it's hard to put a good team around that.
The other part you have to look at with that is the cap's going to start
Cap
shooting up.
will-
It will start
is
going
like
up,
that's
for
the-
sure.
Like we haven't gone there yet. The cap will start going up. It's going to go up next year. The Oilers won't get any benefit from that because of the Connor Brown penalty. And then after that, it's going to keep like at some point the revenue of the NHL is going to really get back to where it once was.
Yeah.
Which prior to COVID, it was going to jump up $7 million.
Yeah.
So you take that hit. Like Leon will be a large jump. Connor won't be that big of a jump because he's already
No,
been
he
paid a
won't
lot.
be. He honestly won't be.
And he wants a team built around him where he
Yes.
doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, should he be the highest paid player? Of course he
Of
would.
course he will.
But would he rather want to win? 100%. But I mean, once we start navigating, hey, let's play the LTIR game. Let's start bringing the guys like Perry who are like, I'll come in for a low salary to be here. Like, are we at that point where that's what you got to do?
Like the Joe
fill
Thornton and the
pieces?
Wayne Simmons with the Leafs for the last couple of years, $1 million deals or whatever. Sweetheart deals, but they want to be with Toronto.
The Oilers are at that point.
They're getting
Yeah.
right.
No, they already are. They got Perry, they got Kane.
But Kane wasn't as much of a sweetheart deal type thing,
The
right?
first year was.
For sure. But there's not a lot of teams that wanted him. Or
Yeah, but-
could go.
Yeah.
were
But
he
willing
still
to take that
chose
chance. Yeah,
Edmonton.
But
that's
hey, we
true.
And then-
capitalized on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, does it look as good right now? No. But has he been healthy? No.
Well, I've said this a few weeks ago. You pay him for the playoffs. I don't care what he does in the regular season. And
I
it's
agree.
the playoffs, and so far through round one, you're getting the money's worth.
Yeah. Say what you want about him, and history shows it'll probably end badly here because it did everywhere
Either
else.
end badly, or the Oilers will jump on it before,
Yeah.
nip it in the bud early, knowing that this is about to end badly.
But he ended the Calgary Flames. He shut down Kachuk, that series. Yes, they torched their goalie, but he broke the Flames. And they haven't been the same since.
Well, Gaudreau and Chuck both were like,
Yeah.
we're gone. Peace.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, he was worth the money.
Well, and even when he set the tone, was it his first game against LA, I think? And in the regular season, and it was his first few games with us.
Yes.
I forget who it was. They had a little yappy guy.
I remember what you're talking
The name will
about.
come to me, but Kane is just watching him in front of the benches, and he just cold cocks him with his glove, and his neck snaps back. And I was like, there it is. We're not getting bullied anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you need that element, right? And you go up and down our roster, like even our big boys, they're like, don't push us around anymore. So I mean, you do have to. I mean, you have to take the good and the bad. But sometimes on any team, you got it. Someone's got to be a little squirrely. That could be off the edge, and if you can rein him in, you have the leadership to do it. He's on my team every year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Oilers plus the drop. I always want to say the bounce. The drop
The bounce.
Yeah, I know it's the first thing. It's like wrong sport. I watched the one after the Heritage Classic, and they have like a lot of mic'd up stuff and a lot of whatever. And something happened in front of it, and Kane looked at Calgary's bench and went, "What are you gonna do? What are any of you gonna do?" And at that moment, I was just like, nothing.
Yeah.
Honestly, they had Zadorov at the time. He's a big man. He's not a fighter. He can't catch McDavid. Yeah, the Oilers are the big bullies now, and people seem to forget that.
And did you see the McAfee show
With Kane on it?
And
I did not.
Yeah, they were having a debate about being in a playoff atmosphere in Edmonton. And he compared it to Pittsburgh, and he told them, he's like, "You have not been to a playoff game in Canada yet, clearly, right?" But I'm like, and it is true, you know, and I like to see that. But I just thought that was pretty cool. I just saw the clip of it. I was like, yeah, I'm like, go at him.
Credit to Pat McAfee for one. He does a lot of hockey, actually.
He does. He does everything. Wrestling.
He's all over the place. And I couldn't think of a better player actually to be on Pat McAfee's show than Evander Kane. Not Connor. Like, they got the right personality to then be with
100%.
Pat McAfee. That if you're trying to sell hockey and trying to put personalities out there, Evander Kane's that guy.
It was perfect.
It's not Connor. Connor wouldn't be as fun with it.
Yeah.
And that's not taking a knock at Connor. It's just that's how he's been grown up. He's been trained in a certain way.
That's what I was going to. He's part of the cliche hockey training, right?
And that starts from a really young age.
Kane did not go to that school.
And he's very confident in himself, and he's not afraid to puff his chest out. Yeah. And that's like when you see the clip of Evander Kane on Pat McAfee, you're like, that is perfect for hockey. Yeah. That's what you want for hockey. I know people don't like PK Subban right now for his comments. That's a guy that's going on Pat McAfee. You want him for hockey on there.
Yeah.
Because he'll bring that personality and be like, oh, maybe hockey isn't boring. Yeah. Look at these guys.
It's true. Well, and actually, and Kane was the perfect guy because McAfee's like, well, I was in Pittsburgh. I was there. And Kane's like, so was I. And so I'm like, yes, keep going, right?
Yeah, honestly, Leon, if you want good answers, Leon's a better guy to interview than McDavid.
I love Leon. Because he also has a bite to him.
Yeah,
he's not afraid.
Yeah,
you're talking about the rebound thing. He's not afraid to be a little snarky or have those little snippets or something. Yeah. But he's also very intelligent. And when he is giving you a good answer, when you ask him the right question, he's giving you that great answer. It's excellent.
Yeah, he's not an machine, right?
No,
he's just
not a cliche machine. None of that.
He's not afraid to just like pause, let there be silence, think about what he's going to say. You know, Speck will ask him something he doesn't like. He goes after him.
And he's not afraid. Like, he doesn't care. And I actually really do like Leon. I love the cockiness that he has a little bit too.
You need swagger.
Yeah.
You really.
What team wins without swagger?
That's right.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
Not often.
How many teams sit there and they're just a complete humble room and like, oh, well, we just were really lucky this year, you know? Yeah. And, you know, it's all those other teams are all just so wonderful and they should have won, but we were just fortunate. Like, no, you got that. No, we're great.
So that's, in a nutshell, that's me. Right, I'm
cocky.
Like very
swagger.
I wasn't expecting like
big brother swagger.
I want to bring a team together. I want to be that person, right? But everybody knows you've played sports. You know, you walk in a room, you know who the guys are with the swag, who are like, that's the guy I'm going to win with. I'm gonna follow that guy, right? Like you could not walk into a dressing room with Leon and Connor and not know. It's like, holy crap. Like, let's hitch onto that wagon. Perry is loving his time in Edmonton. Any interview I see the guy talking about how great the room is and everything else, right? He loves it. He's okay being second fiddle to them. And he was that guy. He was that guy. He was the MVP of the NHL.
But now back to Leon, though. Why would he want to leave this then? Like, and that's the thing. You're not leaving for winning.
No, I was
because you're as close to winning with the Oilers as anywhere else.
It was the article that Speck wrote that really shook my confidence.
Oh, okay. What was the comment? Because that was a few months ago.
Yeah, he talked to him about re-signing or about the summer coming up,
and the agent will figure it out.
And he said, "My agent will figure it out, and we're going to do what's best for us." And what's best for him may not necessarily be
Yeah.
Edmonton.
I love that he went that way because
That's the right response.
I don't think
it's
you want
honest.
you don't want to
Yeah.
lock yourself in and handcuff yourself in. Be like, no, I just want to be in Edmonton. You're gonna want to negotiate, like because
Knowing he already took a discount.
well, that's the other part to
He
this.
did, but he
agreement.
didn't. At the time, he didn't.
At the time, it
worked
wasn't the
out-
discount.
It worked out being.
But in a player's mind.
But now he deserves, and he deserves the bump. He deserves the raise. He deserves the money for the Oilers because the
100%
last
does.
few years was you've been underpaid, dude.
Yes.
So
And-
I don't think you want to handcuff yourself by going, I'm coming in and I'll take a hometown discount. I think there's negotiation there of straight up.
Liut is not going to let that happen. His agent. It's not going to happen. For whatever reason, I don't think he likes the Oilers.
Yeah, but ultimately, I don't think Leon leaves Connor.
And that's a bond that I agree with.
100%.
And you know what?
I agree.
Regular,
And they're not going to go together anywhere else.
No, because no team has that cap space and is ready to win for that, right?
No.
And it seems like the core group, and I know people don't or have. He's a lightning rod at times, but Darnell Nurse is part of that, and Ryan
is.
Nugent Hopkins is part of that.
He is.
They seem to get along really well. Like you compare it to the Leafs right now, and there seems to be some sort of disconnect.
Yeah.
You don't got that with the core of the Edmonton Oilers.
And even Darnell, like, it's interesting where, yes, there's a lot of overpaid players on every single team, but what he brings, and if he's part of the core, and if McDavid were to say, he's my guy, like you sign him to that contract, right? But it's interesting. I think Rashog was on TSN with Button, and I'll never forget. Button was asked, I think it was Rashog, someone else maybe, but say, Kate, well, who's a comparable for Nurse? And Button's like, yeah, you tell me. Give me one player in the league who does what Darnell does, like
Exactly.
all around. I was like, that's actually a good response, right? But yeah, it's, yes, very polarizing, like you said. But if he is part of that core, and like, we talked about LeBron having a say in roster building. Well, I would think Connor has a say in that too, right?
Well, there's not a lot of players in hockey that do that or can do that. He's one. And look, we know he was part of getting Duncan Keith here. He's been a part of bringing Evander Kane. Like he
had to be
talked
part of
them.
Brown.
He's part of the
Corey Perry
conversation.
too.
Yeah, I just don't know. Is he going to them and saying, I want this guy? Or is it they come to him saying, we're looking at this guy, and he
What are
gives
your
it the
thoughts?
thumbs up or thumbs
Exactly.
down? I don't hate the idea, though, one day Connor actually dictating a little bit. If hockey players want that power like the NBA has, and you got to start dictating things. And that goes against hockey culture completely. It seems to go against who I think Connor is, but I actually wouldn't mind
Connor's
seeing
not
that.
that guy. By the looks of it, anyways. None of us know him, but you watch him and you watch his interviews, and just he doesn't seem to be that guy. But back to Nurse. On The Athletic, they do player cards every month.
Yeah.
And they're based on fancy stats and everything, but they give the player a value, right? Either you're making more than your value or you're making less than your value. Darnell Nurse last year finished at $9.5 million. And he wasn't making $9.5 million last year. He was making $4.5, right? But everyone in the city, the second that deal got signed, I was just like, oh no, it's Horkoff all over again.
Yeah, I was going to say Horkoff,
Yeah.
too.
Right? Who I loved, Sean Horkoff. I felt so bad for that guy. All he did
I
was,
don't. He made a lot of money, so I'll give him that.
you know what I mean though? Like,
But you know what the backlash would have been if we didn't re-sign him? Everyone, 90% of the haters for the contract would have been the haters that said, why don't you resign him? Like, we were that close to the cup.
then they should have signed him 3 years earlier when they signed Cassian, and they couldn't have afforded to sign Nurse. They gave him another bridge deal, kicked it down the road. That's what happens, right? When you
But then
challenge-
that's also you give that contract and you don't bridge and you give that big contract and they don't develop. Now you're
Yeah.
just locked in with this guy for a long time.
Who
and
was the
that's
first? Was it Jones or one of the defensemen? Remember?
Seth Jones.
Seth Jones
set the market
all
right
of a
off the
sudden,
bat. He
boom. Yeah, it's
signed
like,
and it was like boom.
Had
Everyone's
he not
getting that money.
signed, would he have even been there? Right?
No, because the rumors were they had a deal done for $7.5 million that Nurse was going to sign, and then the Jones deal happened, and it was like, well, the landscape changed, and Werenski signed his deal. The sad part about that is Chicago doesn't have the money for that deal if it weren't for the Keith trade. So that Keith trade really, jammed up the Oilers pretty bad.
Yeah,
But
the player worked out. The trade was still awful.
the trade was
Right.
I still can't believe
I have no problem with the player, what he brought,
No.
intangibles.
it was all there. It was worth making it, but to when Ken Holland said to DNB,
Yeah.
what, do you want me to get him for free? Yes.
Yes.
Actually, yes.
A little bit.
That's
yeah.
exactly what people wanted and was actually realistic here, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Ken talks a lot more about analytics these days than he did before when he was mentioning the guide and record books. So,
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm intrigued to see who the Oilers go for GM next. Because that's the thing that's kind of just sitting on the side that no one's talking about, no one's looking at because of the run right
do you
now.
think maybe it's
But
just Jackson?
I don't think so. I don't think he wants to do that fully himself. But to a degree, it's almost like it has to be. Because when do you start interviewing people? When do you start interviewing candidates? Unless they know who's in mind. Like,
Well, they've got-
there's a draft coming up.
Yeah,
You've got to be
guys
prepared for a
in-house,
draft.
right?
You got to be prepared for free agency.
Yeah.
So at some point, you got to have someone in to start building that. So if you're going outside,
They have 3 assistant GMs or 2?
I don't know if Bill Scott's considered assistant GM.
Because his son Holland is
Brad Holland.
Brad, thank you, is one, and Gretzky's.
Keith is still around, and I
Yeah.
don't know if they consider Bill Scott an assistant GM. Just playing hockey ops. Keith is assistant GM. Bill Scott's an assistant GM. Brad Holland's assistant GM.
You know, maybe it's as simple as you just
Well, and it feels like it has to kind of go that way because, again, at some point, if you're going to go hire a Mark Hunter or something, there's got to be an interview at some point that we're going to hear about.
right. But why do you need a GM underneath Jackson ahead of 3 assistant GMs? You could just give him the title and divvy up the responsibility and
Because you ultimately need someone that wants to make the final call. And if Jackson doesn't want to do that, you need a GM.
I bet you Jackson's already doing that. You're telling me the coaching
but
change didn't happen
Not in front of the mic, maybe, right?
Yeah, okay.
Well, his
but
relationship
the
with
coaching
McDavid
change is a big one.
right.
But making that trade for that third liner
right.
at the deadline or
But
making
then you
these...
tell Gretzky that you're the
that's-
GM, but
So then you elevate him. Then you got to elevate someone to be the GM.
sure, but you're just shifting a title and shifting a chair. It's not really a big deal.
But if you're going to hire from outside, you need to get that right person. You
that
need the
changes
interviews.
the
And
landscape of everything.
Well, and that's why I feel like it's getting closer to it's going to be an internal person. It would have to be because it's May and the draft is late June.
Right.
And the offseason isn't that far away, actually. And you do have, like, the GM can't do much now for this team.
No.
The GM's useless. I think Billy Beane was always talking about that it was once playoff came, that's when you get to relax because
Right.
your work's done. It's now up to the coaches and the players. So as a GM, you're starting to need to look towards next season.
The other
well,
thing
Ken
is,
Holland is not looking to next season
if
now.
you bring in a new GM, a new GM screws up your continuity of your pipeline, of your program, of everything you've had going on in Bakersfield as well. Right? So do you want to do that as well? Like, do you want to just say, oh, this guy's going to come in and wash our prospects?
Unless you don't believe in any of your 3 guys to be your GM. What if you sit there and you don't believe that Keith Gretzky or Brad Holland? I don't think Bill Scott's would be in the consideration.
I don't think so either. I think it's probably...
They're not good enough to be they're ready. They're not the guys that you believe are the
I think it's
future
Gretzky
GMs.
or Holland, truthfully. I really do think so. And then Dad sticks around as an advisor or something, or mentor /
I keep
whatever.
going with just imagine Ken Holland 2-year extension.
That also could happen, right? If they win...
Everyone says no.
Honestly, if they win the cup...
Everyone says no. Like Tommy, all of them say not a chance. But what if you win the cup? Or what if you lose in game 6 of the Stanley Cup final?
Yeah.
He's
it's
not
just-
going to sit there and go,
I'd rather
I want
bring
this.
Holland back 2 years and Horkoff 6 years.
Yeah. You can take anyone's record apart, and there's a bunch of Holland critics out there. He's done a lot of right.
Well, the biggest steal of last year.
Yeah.
Like, I will forgive him for Duncan Keith for bringing Ekholm in. Coming out of nowhere. It's like,
When you look at the players he's actually brought in, there haven't been a lot of misses.
not a lot.
There've been some. Jack Campbell was a big miss.
It was.
The miss was a big miss. That one especially.
Every GM.
But you know what?
But
misses.
he's made a lot of the
There
other moves
was no
he's
right
made have
answer
good
that
hits.
summer, though. It was a bad summer to be shopping for a goalie.
Well, maybe you
it
don't-
comes down to timing, right?
Wow, but then that's also then where you don't give them the big contract. Maybe do a different way.
Yeah.
Or that prior year play Skinner more instead of sending him down to the Bakersfield.
Honestly-
when he had the shutout to the St. Louis Blues.
I was all over Allmark when he ultimately went to Boston. I'm like, that's the perfect guy for Edmonton because he faced a lot of shots. He can handle chaos. At the time, the Oilers' defense was chaos. But yeah, no, Holland's made a lot of great moves, and he's built a really good, steady franchise it's way better 5 years later than what he took over.
Well, just look at the last 3 years. The Oilers played the Kings first round each year. Kings progressively got worse as a team, I would say. The Oilers progressively got better.
Agreed.
The Oilers' best team came this year.
That PLD trade destroyed their program, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I agree.
That was Hangout Headlines, by the way, brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club. Premier conditions, top-notch service. Book your tee time today at theranchgolf.com. Got to qualify someone for the VIP table for 4 to the Friday at the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, which Andrew Schultz and Shane Gillis. Text us Holland to 780-218-9999. We'll make it very simple. Holland, 780-218-99 if you want to go into the draw to qualify for that VIP table for 4 to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, which has Alley Cat as the official beer, including the 6 o'clocker lager. Tickets available, greatoutdoorscomedyfestival.com.
Good read.
Thank you.
Well done.
I gotta
Can I
put
ask
this
a
a little more
behind the
simple.
curtain question?
Go for it.
How many texts were you guys getting during the flyaway for the on a?
Oh, you should have seen it.
Like how?
I don't think we've ever. I don't think we ever counted. So
okay, because I got through. Like I got qualified on the second last
yeah. And
day.
okay, by the way, I didn't realize that was you.
Oh,
because you qualified here. Somebody said Dean. I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. I was speaking with him. And after I saw it was Belanger, it's like, oh, that was you.
yeah. I finally got through second last day, and I was having a good week. I'm like, I'm going to win this sucker. But
So this is the
I
text
think
line right now
40.
of the qual. So what we have for Holland, this is nothing.
So 49 times I tried.
Yeah.
And that was across all the shows, mostly the morning show. But like, so how?
This was like it just kept moving.
Yeah.
Like this is right now, so it's not as good, like as busy as the Fly YG, but this was just constant.
So is that on par with TSN? Was it more? Was it less?
I would say about par.
Yeah.
Close at the very least.
So a year in, that's pretty amazing.
Oh no, like yeah, we're almost a year in, and the numbers are very, very good for us. I would say I'm very impressed by them. Way better than I could have ever asked for. So it's been good.
I
and
remember,
we're
like,
coming up on a year of since the firing.
I was
or the shutdown.
I was
June
in
14th.
Toronto.
You guys gonna have a night out?
I don't know if we'll have a
like
night out.
Celebration.
That's
the
not bad.
Anniversary event.
Actually, my plan is to have a hangout connected to that, where we look not as much look at what happened that day,
Yeah.
but what's happened since.
Absolutely.
June 14th
That's a
hangout or
great show.
something. So I'll have to grab some people and because this
That
is
would be
all
a
because
good
of that.
show.
But I was in Toronto when you guys launched, so I couldn't listen live. I was kind of bummed, but then I listened to the podcast after. And then as soon as you announced Nasty Club, I'm like, I want to support the boys, so I jumped on it right away, right? So I mean, I'm super jazzed. I'm so happy for you guys that it's working out, and
Well, thank you.
It's-
Well, we
it's
couldn't do it
amazing.
without people like you, our listeners, or our wonderful sponsors and partners, and people like Damon.
And William Huff.
And the sponsor.
Look at this wrap.
I think the sponsors are seeing the love from the fans, from the Nasty Club, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't do it. It's a wonderful relationship. But I didn't think I would like the YouTube. I love the YouTube now. Like I've become.
You just said you liked Bob McCown's show.
No, I'm saying I didn't think I would like your format watching it on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Because I used to listen on the radio.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, well, I'll buy an Alexa or I'll do it that way, right? But now I've become like kind of friends with people in the chat, and it's amazing, right?
The chat was the nasty chat and that evolution has been wild.
It's been like
It's its own little. You guys will have your own chats about something that has nothing going
that's
on with what's going on in the show,
completely.
and we go on and we're like, oh,
What's
what are
going
you
on
guys
in the
talking
chat?
about
We're
here?
like, they're talking about cats, like whatever. But like, I was trying to think this morning, and I'm like, what will that chat be like when the Oilers make the finals?
Going on when?
Oh my God,
There's the bold prediction.
it's going to be incredible.
You've got them past
I do. Yeah,
Vancouver
buy
and now
tickets,
past
right?
Dallas, Colorado.
I really do see the Oilers. They've had their lessons. They've had their sand kicked in their face. I really think this is the year where everything. The only thing that can derail them, goaltending or health, because you just never know.
Well, the closest I'll come to prediction again, because I'm out of the prediction game. Sorry, people. Sorry, Dusty. I do think the winner of the Western Conference Final will win the Stanley Cup.
I haven't watched the East enough, but man, the Rangers
see
look
it.
good. The Rangers look really good. That power play goal they scored the other day, I think they said it was 13 passes in 6 seconds or something crazy, and it was in the net. Like, yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah.
I believe that the West 4 teams, I almost took Vancouver out of that.
yeah.
The 4
Yeah.
teams, I think they're all just too good.
I agree. And I actually, speaking of a really good goal, and it was beautiful, was the overtime goal for Boston. That set play
Yes.
where he
Just
banked it off the
caught all
corner.
the Leafs.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Everyone's-
what a way to go out. And actually, I was talking to some buddies over the weekend. They're like, man, I just wish like Boston would have destroyed them. Like, no. Like for me, poetic justice is Game 7. Matthews is in the lineup and
Yeah.
they lose.
That was heartbreaking.
If you want Leafs fans to be miserable, that was a perfect way of doing
Yeah.
it.
Perfect.
100%.
Because they
Which
were
I am
out.
one of those people.
They were done. It was 3-1. They were already firing Keefe. They were blowing up the core 4. They come back, force a Game 7, get the lead in the 3rd period, lose it within a minute, go to overtime, lose immediately,
Yeah.
and you're crushed. Like
And we all
another
want to
way to
stay
get crushed.
together. Please stay
Yeah.
together.
Please run it back.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The Oilers learned that lesson against Colorado when they lost that overtime game with 1.5 seconds left or something like that, right? The Leafs, unfortunately for them, learned it in the first round of the playoffs, and I'm all here for the chaos. Give me more. It's amazing.
I thought the Oilers would be the team of the offseason going into it because what's happening with Leon is it is a question mark until officially you get he's extended or whatever.
Yeah.
That is a question mark for this team. New GM, all that stuff. But I think the Leafs jump back the top of what do they do from here and can they blow it up?
There's not
Like,
much
that's
they
the
can
question.
do. There
Can you-
really isn't much they can
Well,
do.
the players have all the control with the no move clauses.
Right.
So
They've got 2 guys on an expiring 1-year left contract with no move clauses. There's just not much you can do. And I wouldn't. I love to rip on Matthews, but I wouldn't trade him. And Nylander's probably got another level to hit yet. Like, he's really good.
you can't. When you just sign him, you can't trade him.
No,
You know, it has to be Marner or Tavares if you can. No one's going to take Tavares. You'd have to eat salary.
Tavares is
You're going to have to give stuff. Marner, he's going to have to go wherever he goes, but he thinks
No.
you're a god in Toronto, which he's
Right.
not. He's not
he's
wrong.
not wrong.
If you're great in Toronto, you are a god. It's the same as if you're great in Edmonton, you'll be a god.
If you won a Stanley Cup in Toronto, you would be a god.
Yeah. Never pay for a drink in your life there.
Then you have to figure out, will it ever happen?
No, he'll have a nervous breakdown before that ever happens.
But then you're a free agent after next year and you can walk wherever you want.
That's true.
But is it funny? Like, a year and a half ago, Marner was like the talk of the town, and he was the guy of the core 4, and he's the hometown kid, and it's amazing how fickle it can be.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't be too mean, Oiler fans, because karma. Just worry about the karma a little bit.
Yeah.
Can the Nuggets come back against the Timberwolves?
Yes.
Will they?
No. Yes. I got to look at my. I did a pick 'em and I was doing really well, and I actually had Denver beating Minnesota. I think it was in 7. I got to go back, but I think Denver is a team that can do it, but the level Minnesota's playing, they didn't even have Gobert. I don't even think was in, if I'm not
He
mistaken.
was a game time decision. I didn't
Yeah.
see if he played or not.
But I mean, Ant is. I mean, don't make MJ comparables, but what he's doing right now is crazy.
Okay, Dusty said, I haven't looked at it yet, but I think if you look at their faces, they look very similar, actually.
Oh, really?
You put the 2 faces together, Ant-Man, and you put MJ together.
Yeah.
They're very similar look.
It's incredibly hard in pro sports to repeat. They went a long, grueling run last year. I don't know if they have enough juice to come back.
Do you know why they don't have the juice to come back?
No, I don't.
Because it took everything out of them to beat LeBron James and those Los Angeles Lakers.
Wow.
It
Did I
took
walk into that?
everything out of them.
But how-
the Lakers led more minutes in that series than the Nuggets. It took everything out of them, and now they have nothing left because it's that hard to not only beat LeBron but the Lakers.
So do you
So-
believe this? Do you actually believe that?
I believe the Lakers are the best
Okay,
franchise.
so how about the best? That was an amazing clutch shot, Jamal Murray, our Canadian boy. He's great.
Yeah.
So did you see LeBron's
That
clutch
crushed
shot
me.
before that?
He missed.
Did he clank it?
Oh,
Yeah, no,
didn't
he
hit
missed.
the rim.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So it's
That one hurt.
So
There
that's where
haven't
it's
been a
like,
lot of
pass the
basketball shots
torch.
in my life where that it actually like broke the heart. That one was one of them. And it was also, there was Oilers, Kings. I can't remember which game it was. That might have been game 1. And I live downtown, so I could hear Ice District and everything going on. And the Oilers scored not long after. And the play, everyone's cheering. And I'm just sitting there all miserable because Jamal Murray just hit that shot. I'm so sad. I'm devastated. And there's just a bunch of cheering outside. And it was awful. It's like they were mocking.
You've had enough wins.
It's like they were mocking.
You're fine.
I've seen only 6 NBA titles. I want to see 7.
Shut up.
You can see it anywhere. There's going to be a title every year.
Not for the Lakers.
Exactly.
But I only want to see the Lakers win the titles. I've seen 6 Lakers titles. I've seen 7 Lakers
Sorry
titles.
about your luck then.
7.
It's not going to happen again.
Matt,
Well, you want to, having seen as many as I have, I'm actually pretty good with that. But
True.
No, if LeBron is back, if they hire the right coach, and if Pelinka's not an idiot, they win a title in the next 3 years.
And they will win a title if actually a ref is paid off again, like in the early 2000s.
Don't give me that from the Kings fan.
Are you?
They would
Are
have
you
still
saying
won.
it didn't happen?
They were still
Are
winning.
you saying it didn't happen?
I don't think it was that big of a thing. No, Lakers were winning that title.
And if it was reverse, you'd be crying.
No, well, it wasn't. That wasn't.
If it were that'll be a topic for another day.
Gents, thanks for coming in. This was fun. Dean Belanger, Nasty
you,
Club
sir.
member number 15. Damon Bunting, DamonBunting.com, Remax Elite. Got to go sell some homes.
Yeah, I do.
and I didn't call you a slumlord once until now.
Wow, I've been called worse.
When the first time I heard Dusty say that, I was just like, ooh, and there goes that account.
I'm not gonna. I was worried too. I went, oh, geez, we're going there.
And he's like, oh, was that okay? I'm like, well,
No.
I mean, with a Nasty Club in the following, I would say got a lot of traction out of it.
Yeah, that's good. I'm
I
glad
was like,
you took
I didn't
the
want it
fun-
to stick fully. though.
Oh,
I
God,
know.
It'd
Did
be
that
like-
just happen?
Yeah. It'd be like taking a slice of pizza, like Big Mom. Oh, that's garbage, right? Like, it'd be like, oh, Dusty.
Yeah. So when we found out that it was okay, I was like, thank God. Coming up next, it is the Lock Shop, Dusty and Huss. Noon, Tom Gazzola, Dustin Nilsson. It is the Oil Stream. Reminder, Oil Stream, GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Tomorrow, Hudson's West Edmonton Mall. It is a watch party as Oilers Canucks will get going. Again, thanks for coming in. On behalf of
you.
Damon, Dean, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the EST Hangout. Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes right here on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First time guest, long time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today,